Here we go. Surprise,
Hey.
surprise, surprise.
Oh yeah, and me not having done my makeup.
Yeah.
So there we go. You know,
Yeah, but that saves how many hours in the chair?
several minutes. Several minutes. Hey,
Several
this
minutes.
polish don't come cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that, Steve. There's a bit of a glare on the side there. Can we get makeup? Makeup. We need makeup in here.
Need a Christmas hat.
Yeah. Exactly.
Amen. So, okay, so time check. It's 2:10 in the afternoon here.
Yep.
9:10 in the morning there.
Yep.
And you've still got your pajamas on. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Except just the tops. Just I thought I'd throw a top on.
Nothing on the bottom. That's fine. Okay. Let's.
Hey, we just had a first in. Van
Hey,
Gool
man.
just
Oh,
dropped
Jay.
in.
Yeah.
With
Jay
the
Van Gool. Hey guys.
Yeah. There you go. And it's swept $11.99.
Oh, excuse me.
Hi there.
That's not a great start. Yeah. Hey guys. If you're wondering, it's not Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
No one thinks something's happened and we've missed something. No, this is a Takeover Tuesday live edition.
Yeah. Jack coming in from Australia. Hello, boys.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. There you go.
This isn't your typical Takeover Tuesday. For the people listening to this on Takeover Tuesday, this was Steve's idea. We were originally going to record yesterday. Well, that was our rough plan. And I got busy, and I was like, I still could have done yesterday, but I was like, Steve, can you do tomorrow? And he's like, I said tomorrow afternoon. And he goes, your afternoon or mine? And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So we came up with this one, and I jump on here at 9:00 because we scheduled it for 9 my time, 2:00 your time, Steve. And then he's like, what do you think about just going live and not telling it? We didn't tell anybody. And it's like, I'm dressed for work. You're dressed for work. You got no makeup on your head. I've got an Envision hat on.
All right. Okay, fine. All right. Look, if this is what we're doing, this is fine. I mean, I can do this.
Yeah, there you go. That helps. That helps. I was about to get my sunglasses.
I didn't come here to be insulted.
Yeah, you did.
No, that's a Tuesday night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I forgot.
on,
It's Takeover Tuesday. You take over. We got Rich like a little poor boy.
Yeah, from Jamaica. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
from Jamaica. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Good stuff. And of course, Jack is in Essex. Yeah, he's in England. Of course he is. He's back for Christmas.
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, don't mention the Ashes, Jack. All right, I think I saw a very upset article this morning. This is cricket, Deej. There was a big tournament going on down in Oz, and the English are being absolutely pasted.
So
that's not that I only know because I read on the BBC. I'm not a cricket fan, but still, I'm aware that things were bad. But yes, so it's we're here, man. It's cool, and we're here. You guys should be here. It's all good. Yeah. And we are going to talk something cool.
We're
here.
Yeah.
And Deej, get this. For the first time,
it's Rambo time.
Ever.
He knows.
He does. You see, hold your nose. I've got notes.
You took notes.
I've got notes.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, man. I've got notes. Things got written down badly.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Notes.
Because there's just so much.
I know. There's so much. Yeah, it's.
And what time's your dad dropping in?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even approach that.
No, I'm only kidding.
I've talked to him enough about it. I can. And I think that's probably the best way to do it too.
Man.
Being an actual, I don't want to get my interpretation. That way, you have that buffer between the two of what is like real, and and it'd be like, well, maybe. Yeah, we can get into that and the way my dad is and stuff like that. We'll get into that stuff. But yes, we're as everybody, I think everybody knows. Violent. Here we go. Steve, watch Violent Night
a number of times.
Oh yeah. But this is a Takeover Tuesday, which was pretty much dedicated to the holiday classic, First Blood.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it is First Blood. It's not Rambo First Blood.
No.
And it wasn't Rambo First Blood in the book either. It's literally First Blood.
First Blood.
So the Rambo First Blood is the revisionist title of it.
Yeah, a lot like Star Wars: A New Hope. or I think, you know, and they did Rambo First Blood because of obviously all the sequels. It was the second one was Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Yeah.
So they just do that. But the little I never noticed this before. But did you notice the tie-in to Star Wars: A New Hope?
Ooh, no. Do tell. Stormtroopers in the background. I missed that.
No, the town.
Hope. Well, yeah.
Hope.
Okay. Welcome to Hope. Yeah.
Hope.
Okay.
It's like he shows up in a new town, New Hope. Here we go. And it's I know obviously with my mind, nothing happen. Everything happens for a reason. Nothing is an accident. Taught to me by my father. Over and over. I think that's part of the storytelling of like he comes to, you know, he's looking for hope. Literally looking for hope.
True. And the irony of the movie being, of course, that's not what he finds.
No.
The whole movie is about that irony, isn't it? About the one thing you want, you get something else. Jay Van Gogh says, I don't think many people know about this live stream. Jay, we didn't know about it 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No idea. It's like, you know, literally it was Steve's idea. Great idea. He's like, and he even said like, look, we're not even dressed for it. We're not ready. We don't need to get dressed up. Let's just do it. And yeah. So yeah, it's like, let's keep the listeners on their toes. You know, you never know. There's tens of people around the world now that productivity's just gone to the toilet.
That's it. We're going to get emails from various state departments about impact on the global economy. Watch the
significant others wondering why their significant others staring at a screen. They could go live any minute.
6 months from now.
Yeah.
No, man. But all right, so tell me this. So let's get to First Blood then. So let me tell you this. So when did you first see it? Can you remember your first watch of it?
Yeah, it was probably. So I had a.
Was it after Rambo?
No.
Part 2.
No.
Wasn't it?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I saw it first.
Okay. Yeah. Go. Okay.
So I saw it. I had my neighbor had ironically, a vet, retired, his brother, I should say. So my neighbor lived right next door to me, babysat their kids. His brother, okay. Obviously these people are my parents' age. So his brother retires from the military. He was like 40 years old. That's about the time you would retire after 20 years, right? And he opened up a video store. So, and that's why I was able to get and it was literally, I could ride my bike down the street, rent a movie and come back. And it was, you know, I was able to rent movies I shouldn't have been able to rent. He was really cool about it. He's like, you know, like I would be, and even my dad would have been like that. You'll be like, yeah, here you go.
But did they have certificates for home video at that point? Because that didn't come in straight away. It's certainly not in New Zealand or in England initially.
No, that's what, like, I hadn't seen it until mid 80s, mid 90s. Yeah. Mid 80s. So it came out in 82. I didn't see it in 82. I probably was like 84. I think.
Okay.
It's something like that. Right around that, like 15? We literally got our first video 14, VHS player, something like that, a couple of years later. Because I was 12 when it came out, 14, probably right around there. And then what you call it, come out in 86, 85, I believe.
85 was First Blood Part 2.
Part 2.
Because he says in there, doesn't he? He says, what year is it? He goes, 1985.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, I know because I was 15. And I wasn't, obviously, it comes out, you have to be 17. It's rated R. You'd have to be 17 to see it. And it was a Tuesday night. And that's why I know I wasn't old enough to see it yet. And this was the first movie I was allowed to see. And my dad took me on a school night. So that's we'll talk about that later this afternoon. As we, for the people in the chat, no, we're not recording this afternoon too. This is what you do when you record. You talk about, like, you know, the future. So people in the chat like, we're back late too. Because you never know with us. Yeah. So yes, I remember seeing it. My friends had all seen it. My friends that were older than me, they had seen it. It was, you know, and it was right around the time it was coming out. Well, that VHS was coming out and becoming more prevalent. So I was like, I had to see it. And it's, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one there. That question. All of them. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah. Because I do. Yeah, do you want? I'm going to add that to your little notes.
Add that to your little notes. Yeah. So yes, I do remember the first time I saw it. Me and my friends, we used to play Army in the woods, and we'd go in and we wouldn't even go against each other. We would go in and pretend to be fighting other people, and we would do like the little commands and stuff like that. And yeah, so we were into all those types of movies. And obviously at the time, by the time I did see this, there was enough material into the 80s that this actually resonated even more for me, because when this came out in 82, the 80s hadn't taken, you know, the action genre hadn't exploded yet. It was just about to, right? So by the time I saw this, I had experienced some of the action drama, some of the, you know, the Chuck Norris, some, you know, those movies where it was like ridiculousness, missing in actions. What was the other, Charles Bronson, the one where in he avenged his daughter, right? Death Wish 1, 2.
Is that Vietnam linked?
I don't think it was Vietnam linked, but I'm just saying like the action genre type idea, right? Yeah, gotcha. So when I did come to First Blood, it was like, whoa, okay, this is a little bit subdued, more like realistic. Like this is what this is like. And yeah, this movie gave me a different perspective of my dad. Never spoke to him about it at the time. Because that's not what we do. It's like, hey, Dad, Dad, are you all messed up in the head?
God. Did you find Johnny's legs?
Yeah, exactly. That scene there we'll talk about a little later. But yeah, so yeah, I absolutely remember the first time seeing it. I remember the impact it had on me, and I think it does. It for me, it also. The impact it has on you, it also allows you to go forward into the 80s, into that action, and enjoy it, and just be like, especially with my dad's perspective, never thought of it this way, but until we're talking about it right now, but never thought of this, but maybe my perspective would have been different if my dad doesn't take me to see the second one and then literally like, okay it, like, it's not a bad thing to enjoy these things, even though these people suffered and there are people still suffering. This is entertainment, and it's, you know, and the way he described that, I'd save it for when I talk Rambo 2, but it's poignant here. But and the way he described it and the way he explained all that to me was like literally 2 sentences. I was like, because I asked him, and I've said this on the show before, but I asked him. Walking across the street, I remember where we were parked. I remember walking out of the theater, and I was like, "What'd you think?" And he's like, "Could have used a little more action." He was joking, of course. And then I said to him, I said, "Dad, a lot of people are protesting," because it was prevalent at the time. It was in the news. It was everywhere, right? And we didn't have internet. So for a 15-year-old kid to be aware of how many people were protesting this movie, how many people were upset, you know, it had to be a big deal because it was making the rounds, right? And I said to him, how come there's people, you know, that are upset about this? And it's like, you were there. It's like, why aren't you upset about it? And he literally, just before we could even get to the car, and he's like, everybody's different. Everybody handles everything differently. He's like, I just don't see it. I just don't want to be upset about it. End of story. Wow. Back in the car and go home. So it's in that one little thing is like, that to me was like, okay, it's up to you, right? It's up to you. You want to be upset about something, you can be upset about it. You don't want to be upset about it, just move on to your life. Go ahead. Yeah. And it's like, enjoy the action, enjoy the movies, enjoy life, do what you got to do. And it's like, you know, and it also made it that I thought he didn't experience anything like this.
Mm.
You know, he was in Vietnam, but he must have been like, because all of his stories up until this point were all fun. He made fun of everything. He made light of everything. And I was like, oh, okay. He mustn't have seen anything like that, because this is what happens. Not this man, my dad, not that. This is what happens to people that experience that. And then it wasn't until, ironically, of all places, I point to the screen behind me, but I was signed up to be a ranger. Did I tell you this story?
No, man. No.
Oh, I never told you this story? Okay. Oh, my God. No. So I got recruited, of course. Not like I got recruited, like they needed me. It was like they come to the school, they do the thing. I talk to them. My dad's a vet. And I'm like, all right. And I was a little kid, picked on, tiny, needed discipline. I felt like I had none. And I was tired of being picked on, little, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'll join the military. I'll do what my dad did. My dad was drafted. He didn't join. And I'm like, I'll do this. So I went through the whole process, took the tests, did everything. It was like, okay, you can do this, you can do this. And like, what do you want to be? And I looked at it. I'm like, I wanted to be a ranger. I'm like, this is what I want. That's what
was your dad a ranger?
No. Okay. He was an engineer. Drafted into be an engineer, so he basically was on a base his original job was to a mechanic, like work on tanks, and as he used to say, he's like, we can fix it. Their motto was fix anything that doesn't float or fly. That was it. So but yeah, so
tanks in now?
Oh yeah.
This is funny enough, because he says in this, I could drive over there, you know, I can fly a gunship, I could drive a tank. You never see tanks in the movies in Vietnam, ever. Maybe Full Metal Jacket, now that I think about it. But none of the others.
They definitely had tanks, because he would tell me about working on them, he drove them, the wrenches. Oh man. Oh yeah, they had tanks.
Yeah, do you know what? I've never seen that in a
Apocalypse Now didn't have tanks. I know they had the helicopters, the gunships.
Yeah, I don't know. No tanks in that. No tanks in We Were Soldiers. Jeeps. No tanks in thing. It was because, of course, it's always jungle, isn't it? So you'd never be able to film a tank going through the jungle. But I'd never seen tanks in Vietnam. Okay, anyway, right. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. I just for him telling me about it. I mean, you're right, but it's funny because if somebody came on and was like, there were no tanks over there, it's like maybe he worked on them in boot camp or something, getting ready. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sorry. I don't mean that he's not.
No. I'm just saying. I'm going by my memory of him describing, and I know he drove them. I know he did this. It's like he never flew a helicopter, but he told me, he's like, it was so funny. This is one of those stories like so also in the talk about a tangent, mid 80s. Was the mid to late 80s was the push for wearing seatbelts. Okay, over here, nobody ever wore seatbelts, right? Some cars didn't even come with them, right? Then again, the cars that didn't come with them were basically a tank. If it hit anything, it was just going through it. It wasn't stopping. So don't worry about stopping short, right? So it's like, okay, boom. But I remember him saying, he's like, seatbelts, and he's just laughing. He's just being funny. Seatbelts. He's like, he'd get into a helicopter, like a Huey, sit on the side of a Huey like this, and they take off in the Huey. He's like, and I'm leaning out. We didn't have seatbelts. He's like, you just hold on. He goes, I'm on the ground. Why am I wearing a seatbelt now? He's just being just joking, but it's like, oh God. But yeah, so so I was saying, me signing up to be a ranger. And I literally took, I did 3 visits. Everything was all set. And I was literally just about to turn 18 at this point. It was July, and I was going to go sign, and they were coming to the house. The recruiter was coming to the house to pick me up. It was he had a Chevy Citation. And he pulls up in my parents' house. It's like there's a garage. We had a pool at the time in the backyard, and there's a garage that you can't see the front, but the driveway comes around the garage, so you could now see it by the pool. And he was going to pull up there, and I come out all dressed. I came out dressed up. I put on not a suit, but a shirt and tie and stuff. And my mom's sitting at the pool, and she's like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, I go, "Oh, there was a recruiter coming." I hadn't told my parents anything. I'm like, there's a recruiter coming. I'm going to go sign. And she's like, what are you doing? And I told her, I was like, well, I took the tests, I did all this and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I wanted to be a ranger. They said, you qualified for all of that. You've got this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, all right. She's like, why are you doing it? And I never sat down, or anything, just standing in front of her at the, she's at the table under an umbrella by the pool. And she goes, why are you doing it? She goes, are you doing this because your dad was in? I was like, yeah. I'm like, Dad did it. And it's like, she's like, okay. She's like, well, you do what you want to do, but just know he doesn't want you to do it. And I was like, really? Why not? And then she told me some stories that he never told me. She told me the PTSD stories of when he came home and when they were first married, and she would wake up and he's at the end of the bed and waving people by, and my mom would wake up and go, what are you doing? Now he's in the prone position, pretending to have a gun in his hand and going, shh, shh, shh. And she's like, what? He's like, quiet, they're coming. Jesus. And it was the other one. I won't tell all of them, but the other one, she'd get up and he was waiting in line in his sleep for the bathroom.
Oh man.
And he'd just stand, take a step all the way to the toilet, use the bathroom, and walk back to bed. And it's like, now that one there is like, he could have, that could be PTSD from going to a concert for all I know. But couple that with the other ones, that's my dad's humor right there, me injecting that little bit of humor there. But that's the Irish humor. But yeah, so she tells me all of this, and I'm like, huh. Guy pulls up in the Chevy Citation. Why he puts something down, I go, I'm all set, thanks.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, where I would be today if she doesn't tell me that story, and she doesn't tell me he doesn't want me, like he doesn't want that for you. He wouldn't. It's like if he said that it would be good if I had spoken to him and he said that would be good for me, I would have gone. I still would have gone. But hearing that and then her saying he doesn't want that for you, he doesn't, you know what I mean? That's what made it. Well, it's not that I'm afraid of that. It was more like, oh, okay. So he always told me these good stories, not knowing that I'd be like, oh, okay, this is a good thing to do, because I was going to surprise him. She's like, he does not want that surprise. I was like, oh no.
Doesn't want anyone joining him in the line.
Yeah, he doesn't want the longer line at the bathroom.
Yeah, are you going to be long, sir? Because
Yeah.
Oh man, gosh. Okay. So you could have been at 3-star General Briggs by now.
Yeah, I could have been Troutman.
You could have been. There you go. That's it. Or you could have been, if your indiscipline had continued, you'd have been Briggs in the brig.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm pretty good at following orders. I'm pretty good at doing what I'm told. I'm pretty good. I've met numerous people.
How are you with a bayonet, though, when you've run out of bullets? That's really what we need to know.
Yeah, it's like, I think I would have been pretty good. It's pretty funny. Yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, that's at the same time I was signing up. John was signing up too. That's one of our, like,
same
he
thing?
actually
Rangers as well, or for something
no,
else?
No, he was just, he went into the guards. He was going into the guards, where you would do like weekends, do one, it's like 2 weeks a year. I forget what the deal was.
Like the National Guard.
National Guard, yeah, National Guards. And it was, it's Army National Guard, which was just like, not just, but it was, you go to college, you get a 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year, something like that. And then they pay, and you get paid accordingly. I was literally going full time. I was signing up for, I think the Rangers, it was 6 years. You could normally do 4. You could sign up for 4, I think it was, and then you could re-sign. But I was to be a Ranger because of the amount of training. You were doing 6, and most Rangers end up full time anyway. So a few get out, and I actually did talk to a Ranger years later at a job I was at, and he got out after 6, and he even said, he goes, it's rare. And he goes, but I'd done my time, made them, and it was, I wanted to do something else. It wasn't that he didn't like it or anything like that. But,
And are they airborne then? Is that the Rangers that they're airborne? Is that we were soldiers? They're Rangers, aren't they? Flown in.
I think so. I think airborne is a different. There's different divisions, I believe.
Where's Carl when we need him?
Yeah, exactly. I think airborne Rangers. There's different divisions of Rangers, and I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
My buddy, I say my buddy. I haven't seen him in like 35 years, but that was a Ranger. He was in 3 helicopter crashes.
Was his nickname Lucky?
Yeah, no. He's like, he was the one that told me. He goes, yeah. I go, were you? Did you have any successful flights? First of all,
were you flying them?
Yeah, it's like no. It's like 3 helicopter crashes.
Oh right, wow.
But yeah,
reminds me of flying over the Grand Canyon in a helicopter. Right. Well, the first time I've been a couple of times, but the first time was with my mum, and she did not want to go in the helicopter. She went in a plane, just flew over it. Right. Mm-hmm. And we went in a helicopter that went down into it. And when we were there was a woman who was in there. And so I said, my mum wasn't there. We were flying down, looking, a mile down into the canyon. And this woman, her knuckles were white. She was holding on to the seat for grim death. And she said to me, I've never met her before. And she said to me, how can you look so calm? How can you be so relaxed? And I'm like, well, if you've got to go, this is not a bad place to go.
Right.
Yeah, this is it's all good. Anyway, we were okay, as you probably guessed, because I'm here.
Yeah,
but it was, but yeah, very cool. Although the second time, just again super quickly, because we're talking helicopters, the second time I went, we got on this. So this was one of these little small helicopters. So there were 2 people in the front, pilot, and then me and the person I was with in the back. And the person in the front, very foolishly, said just as it was taking off, "I'm afraid of flying." Right.
Oh, geez.
Now, what we didn't know at that time, and this also comes back to First Blood, is the pilot was a combat vet. and so he's going. So you've been to the Grand Canyon, haven't you, Deej?
No, but I've been to Canyon Lands, which is it's north of that. Very similar, just it's more expansive, not as deep.
So where this took off, so the helicopter takes off. And there's a lot of forest around the Grand Canyon, at least in this particular part. And so they told this guy who, like I said, we didn't know at the time, but we did. He was a combat vet. So he flew probably about 6 feet above the top of the trees. And he's going down in low. And at the time, I didn't quite realize what he was doing. But as soon as she said, I'm afraid of flying. So he stayed low on the trees, was coming down probably 6 to 12 feet above the treetops at most. Hit the lip of the Grand Canyon, where it all sort of just ends. And he just tipped the nose and went down like that, like down a roller coaster, straight down.
Wow.
It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
We were in the back. Things great. This poor girl, I think she may have left her body for a period of time as she was screaming so much. But, it was fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, fun for you.
Oh, it was great for us. But, this poor girl thought, her end had come.
Yeah.
That's good. But you never say that to a helicopter pilot as you're taking off. Surely they're like, right.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got to keep themselves amused somehow. Yep. But anyway, so there it is. All right. So you remember the first time you saw First Blood?
So that's the answer to that question. Any other questions? We're going to be here.
Do
you remember your first time?
Well, this is the thing. I don't think I can, because I can't pinpoint where and when I saw it. I mean, obviously, I saw it, and I definitely saw it in the 80s. Of that, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
What I can't remember is whether I didn't see it in theaters either, because again, you were young. I was 4 years younger.
Yeah.
I saw it, so it must have been on home video that I saw it. But what I can't remember is whether I saw it in New Zealand or whether I saw it in England, because we were back here for 5 years. We came back here for 5 years in '84. But what I always think of when I think of First Blood and my first time seeing it is the reason I even knew about it is because my sister was going out with a guy who famously in our town looked just like Sylvester Stallone at that time. He was the spitting image of him. And like First Blood, Sylvester Stallone, it looked just like him. I won't say his name because, it's not given out on the air. We're live. And so she was going out with him. And so people used to say it all the time. God, you look just like that guy from First Blood, like that Rambo guy. So I was aware of it. So I can't remember. I think I might have seen it. The reason I say to you about was this home video before certification at home is because for a period of time in the UK, there was no home video certificate. So you could see anything from your local video store. And I clearly remember when it came in, because the guy at the video store knew us and would let us still rent whatever we wanted anyway, you know, sort of under the table a bit. And I think one of those movies was First Blood. I think.
So what do you mean by a certificate? Like, did you guys
in the UK? So in the UK, in the cinemas, even back then, you had PG 15, can't be under the age of 15 to see it. 18, can't be under the age of 18 to see it, or X rated, which was essentially banned. You know, you couldn't see it anywhere. And so that certificate structure was in place for theatrical movies, but not in place for home video, because home video was still so new. Bearing in mind, it came in, 78, 79, I suppose. It would have taken a couple of years to hit us here. So it would have been, 79, 80 before it became a thing here. This is where we need Paul Hurt when we need him.
Yeah.
Because Paul will remember. So for a period of time, though, home video was seen as a bit of a kind of something they didn't really understand, I don't think. And the British Board of Film Classification only dealt with theatrical releases for a period of time. And I remember both before it and I remember after it. And I think First Blood was one of those movies that the guy at the video store let us rent, even though we were way too young, possibly just after certification had come in, because it was all like, oh, it's just government stupidity. You know, what movie do you want? So I think that's when I first saw it. I think so. But I do remember, even as far back as I could recall with this movie, thinking this is something different. This is not any movie that I've seen before. You know, and if you think about that time, the war movie, such as it was all, Audie Murphy. It was all World War II. It was all, there weren't many Korean War movies. I mean, MASH being the exception, but that, of course, was a TV series.
Yeah.
But it was all World War II movies, Where Eagles Dare, the Guns of Navarone, these kind of heroic, kind of separate kind of movies. And I think this one, at least for me, from what I remember, and again, bear in mind though, Deej, this particular film talking about Vietnam was never a thing here. It was never, for obvious reasons. We were not involved in that war.
Right.
We had nothing to do with it. I mean, obviously, I wasn't alive at the time, but I don't think Vietnam permeated the consciousness of the UK pretty much at all until the 80s, and the movies started coming in. So seeing this movie, certainly me, then and even to a certain extent now, I came to it without understanding what it was. I mean, because I absolutely am convinced First Blood is a throwback, is a remnant of the 70s movies. It's not, as you said, the 80s movies hadn't really started at that point.
Right.
First Blood Part 2 is 80s all day long. But I think First Blood is a remnant of the 70s. It's more Deer Hunter than it is, Missing in Action. It's more, it is more Death. Again, funny you mentioned Death Wish.
Yeah.
It's more Death Wish. It's more Apocalypse Now than, any of the sort of the crazy kind of, even movies like, Missing in Action, but Platoon, Hamburger Hill was a bit of a kind of rah sort of war movie. Maybe not Platoon, but you know what I mean. And so I think First Blood is a throwback, and it's the first time I can remember realizing Vietnam was not a. This is a terrible phrase. Sorry, forgive me for saying it.
No, say it.
Was not a popular war.
Well, I thought you were going to say this. Did you know this? It wasn't a war. So
was it a military action, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, it was what do they call it? It was I forget what the term was that they used to justify it. So
isn't it military action? Is that what they call it? Because that's in Good Morning Vietnam, isn't it?
Scruffy was saying a police action. Scruffy Kingman was saying police action. It was not. What did they call it? Anyways, so here's what everything you're describing is, and again, these are things like I didn't even think of it this way, but so movies up until this genre, the Vietnam War movie, right? So you have your Vietnam War movies, and then you have your Vietnam movies. Like a First Blood isn't a war movie; it's a movie about Vietnam. Okay, and go back to any movies about World War II, and leading up to the Vietnam era, you get it's a group thing, it's a war thing. It's talking about the battles. Apocalypse Now was actually probably, which it was like 79. came out, and it was actually a mix of the two. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you think about war and you're thinking about gunships and tanks and this and what's going on, and then World War II, and you're like, we've got, what's going on in the Pacific, because that's a world war as well. You've got what's going on in the Pacific. You've got what's going on in Germany or in Europe. And you've got all of this. It's a huge stage, right? Multiple people involved because everybody's involved. Back here, they were parts of the movie where it's like, women going to work in the factories to support the war, and doing all. It was a huge event, right?
Dig for victory, they called it here in the Second World War. Yeah.
And literally around the globe. From everybody's perspective, I mean, it's a huge event. All right, go to Vietnam. Well, you're going to make a movie about it. Early on, you're like, okay, we'll make a Vietnam War movie. You don't have that scope, right? But then you do have this part of it where you can't you can't have a draft if there's no war. Congress in this country never declared war on Vietnam. So if we didn't go to war, how did these people get drafted? Okay. So you have that aspect of it. So now, because of all of these things and these loopholes, and however they did it, I don't know, I was a kid or not even born when it started. So how did this happen? So now you have people like an Oliver Stone or, David Morrell writing the book. You have Francis Ford Coppola doing Apocalypse Now, which was in Apocalypse Now, you have the scope. Right, you have the, you got the beach. You've got all of this stuff. Robert Duvall and the beach. You've got all of this. Then and it's looking at it through the lens of Martin Sheen's character, of an individual going through this. And who does he come across? Marlon Brando, who's gone bonkers. Why did he go bonkers? He's not supposed to be there in the first. There's so much more to it than just because you couldn't make that. I guess maybe you could, but you couldn't necessarily make that movie in World War II because everybody was behind it at the time. Here in a Vietnam War, you have conflict within the individual. I'm not supposed to be here. I don't want to be here. I was forced to be here. Or this isn't a war that this is not even a war. What are we doing here? There are so many things that would allow the movie making to change that.
Latch onto.
To latch on and to tell that narrative. And then with First Blood, with David Morrell wrote this in 1972. The war was still going.
Yeah.
At the time, right? So David Morrell writes this, and I'm sure others did as well, because you have like the Missing in Action, which is modern day, was the early version of Saving Private Ryan. Right. But that was a group thing back. Oh, look, the last child left. We got to go save him, blah, blah, blah. That's basically Missing in Action. So you have these movies that turn into an individual story that about, the war, because and that's the end speech of First Blood, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. But it's like, and then the beginning of the movie of First Blood is him coming home. Obviously, he'd been home for a while, but as we meet him, he comes in, and you're like, if you couple that with the end, it's the exact what happened to him at the beginning of the movie when he walks into Hope is exactly what happened to him becoming Rambo. It's like, I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. And it's like, I just want it. And his buddy can't find his legs. I just want to go home. Well, he's like, at the beginning of the movie, he's like, I just want to get something to eat. And he's like, nope, not on my watch. You're going to do what I tell you to do. Yeah, the last time I did that, what happened to me? Like, I end up in a country and my friends are getting blown up. So it's like you've got and that's the movie. Never mind the book. Which after watching this, I want to go read the book again. The book is
very, very, very. It's actually not that different. It's actually very similar.
Darker though.
This is what. Well, the ending, of course,
the whole book
shot. Yeah, but he
kills multiple times.
Yeah,
that's the movie you want.
And yet I find that interesting because that's the thing that people forget, don't they? Is that actually, because I do remember kind of, or slightly obliquely, but I do remember there being some sort of kerfuffle over here about the violence in First Blood, and yet the body count is 1. And
yeah, he did it to himself.
Yeah, exactly. It's a self-defense action. I mean, all day long.
Yeah. He wasn't seatbelted in, alluding to my story earlier.
Yeah, to show that to your dad. Now, look, Dad.
Dad, see, you needed your seatbelt.
Yeah. But it actually is not that in terms of, in the scheme of things, that violent a movie. But the actual the chain of events, the sequence of events in the book is very, very similar to the movie, other than the ending, which we won't spoil. But anyone that it was filmed. I mean, it's a good job they didn't sort of show that, because otherwise this was a short franchise. But it's so similar that David Morrell did a commentary on the DVD. I mean, a lot of my understanding of the character comes from listening to that commentary back in the day. And if it was so radically different, the author wouldn't have done that. But actually, it's very close. And of course, David Morrell is in the movie. He's the reporter that's reporting on the thing on the beyond the horizon. There is
What he's like, it was only their skills that saved them, and it's like, which is funny coming from him, because in the book he kills him.
Yeah,
he goes right through him, and graphically in the book, and that's why I'm like, for you, I'm like, that's the movie that needs to be made. Is like,
we get that in Rambo First Blood Part 2. We get the bloodbath in the second, third, fourth, fifth movies. One of the things I like about this film is that it's different in that way. It doesn't approach. It's not a bloodbath. He's got, and again, you might say he's got every justification to kill in self-defense, bearing in mind what they do. But actually, he doesn't do that. He's not. I mean, this is one of the massive changes between the first and the rest of the movies. I don't think in First Blood he is a all-encompassing killing machine. He's actually quite restrained. He said that, leave me alone or I'll give you a war you won't believe. And yet all he really does is blow up a few buildings and shoot some things. It's actually quite A-teamy, isn't it? We're going to shoot all these guns and no one's getting hurt. There might be a Daction with a slight limp. And
there was one scene at the end that I just noticed this on this viewing. So it's at the end when he's shooting up. I think it was like the store, right? The nice, like all the Christmas stuff, right? And he just signed. He's got the M16. He's like, and he's holding that, and which is by all rights you shouldn't even be. It's meant to be a mounted, right? It's supposed to be a mounted gun. So he's holding it. He's like, and he's literally just blowing up, shooting to shoot, right? Just shooting out glass. Just shoot it, shoot the glass, right? He's just shooting up. So they do a jump cut from him and it's the iconic view of him and the belt is going through and the bullet, the shells are coming off and bum, 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 right? The casings are flying. And then they jump cut from that view to the building that he's shooting, and you see the glass and the lights are going out and there's little things are exploding. Christmas trees are falling apart, and they come back. And it was a weird cut, but they come back and he's got it mounted. And he's holding the belt with one hand. The tripod's out on the front of it. And he's got one eye closed, like he's aiming. Like, what are you aiming at? And I burst out laughing because it's very quick, right? But I'm like, you're literally just shooting a building. You're hitting the broadside of a barn just for the sake of unloading the belt, right? And he's got his eye. All right, I got the top of the Christmas tree.
Is that Snowman?
It was just like a jump cut, like, hey, let's put this piece in. Like he's got it on the top of like I don't know, like a dumpster or something. You can't even tell what it is. It's so quick. But he's just like, what are you doing? It was so funny.
Do you wonder whether either he thought, well, look, this just looks cool, or
his arm got tired?
Well, that's the thing. Is it a case of, look, how many takes have we got to do with me shooting this? Right, forget it. Then. Bring me that dumpster. Right, there we go. Look at how cool I can look.
Yeah.
But also, if we're thinking of that, I mean, here's me saying I think he's quite restrained in this. He didn't check that building. No. I mean, that could have been full of staff members and children and kids. I mean, they're just told to clear the streets. That could have been full of people. He could have
clear the streets, go into the building. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so let's back up a little bit then, because I want to go through some of this. So before we talk, one thing we've never talked about, in at least as far as I can remember, and we'll go right back to the beginning before we even get anything on screen. Jerry Goldsmith's score, the music, and specifically the John Rambo theme.
Hold that thought. This is the most hysterical interruption. The score we're going to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally 9:46. It's 9:54. I just noticed I got a text.
Mm-hmm. Is it from Jerry Goldsmith? Because that is incredible.
Hello, my name is Leslie, and I am a recruiter at Kelly Services. Your profile and resume have come. A recruiter, because we were just talking about recruiting. Are you kidding me?
Our phones are listening to us.
I've never gotten those. Like, what is this? Like,
yeah, we are being monitored.
Yeah, 24/7. Oh God! All right, so go ahead.
The score. So yeah, that music. Now I absolutely love Jerry Goldsmith's score to First Blood. Look, I've said loads of times on the show, I know nothing about music. Music is alien to me unless it's movie music. But this particular score, I think, is some of the best movie music outside of John Williams. And again, did you know what? We talked, didn't we, about about our favorite pieces of music all that time ago. And this didn't even occur to me. And yet I think it's probably one of my favorites. I love that, in a mournful way, because they repurpose it into an action.
Exactly. They can ramp it up when the action picks up, like when he jumps into the truck. It's like, and it's like, obviously, and it goes on into the sequels as well.
Yeah. Jay says he did Alien as well. Jay Van Gogh says he did Alien as well. Oh, fair play. Well done, Jay. So I love that piece of music. I think that's so soulful and mournful and melancholic, and actually sets you up for, this is not an action movie. If you think this is going to be guns and glory, you are sorely mistaken. And I love how that just sets the tone. As we then see Rambo walking along the street, along the dirt track to the house, to the homestead. Yeah. So I absolutely love that piece of music. And fun enough, I've got it on my phone. And I can't. It's one of those I can't skip beyond it. If it comes up randomly, I have to listen to the whole thing. And it is different to the others. Then you don't get any real kind of guts and glory and stuff until the next one, and then Rambo 3, where they add in some of the other instruments to give it the kind of the more tough sort of edge to it.
Right.
But I do like this first one.
But you're also in the other ones. They're more actiony.
Yeah, because they're cartoons, aren't they? As we move forward, they become cartoons. But First Blood certainly isn't.
Right. But then, as we've already said, like, the body count is 1, which he didn't, for all intents, he didn't kill the guy. He threw a rock at the helicopter and he fell out. So it's not like the book where all of the things, like, I'm not saying, I don't remember distinctly how he killed each individual in the book, but I know he went through them like you would have expected in the movie. When he goes through the police, he leaves them alive. In the book, he did not. Okay. Yeah. So because this movie has, like, almost, I mean, the action is almost non-existent. It's him shooting buildings, right? Inanimate objects. He does shoot Teasel at the end, but Teasel survives. He shoots him through the building. That score sets it up in a way. At the beginning of the movie, it comes in as a drama. The movie is basically a drama, and that score ramps, and it sets that tone, to your point, of, oh, okay. So when things do ramp up, they seem even more heightened because you came in lower, right? So it's like, it takes an action that wouldn't necessarily be an action and ramps it to a height that you're like, oh my God, like, this is, what a great action movie. You're like, no, First Blood isn't an action movie. It's a drama, and it's, I mean, and so that sets that tone exactly how you said at the beginning of the movie. You have that
beautiful music.
And then as it goes through the movie, it's the same thing. And then at the end, it's much like F1. It disappears for that end scene. There's nothing, so much so that You can hear the squawking outside the building. You can hear things moving in the building, papers and stuff. It's like, it's very, very like here. We've given you all of this through the movie. We've raised your levels. We've lowered your level, you know, your excitement. And now here it is. Pay attention. It's like, because you're going to get some of the finest acting Sylvester Stallone has ever or would ever do.
Yeah, not some of the finest pronunciation or enunciation, but yes.
But that's the point too.
Yeah,
right. It's like that's exactly, and it's like like him and his, you know, the what is it? Whatever he has, like
he's got some paralysis
on the side of his face. It's all he's not in that scene. He's not a public speaker. He's not an actor. He's not anything. He's just a guy. He's just this, you know, a killing machine that is breaking down in front of you.
Yeah, he is having a breakdown. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing there. All right. Well, so all right. So backing up again, then just after the music, then I was going to ask you about what Rambo's plan was, because if he goes to see Delmore Barry, that's the guy that he's going to see. If Delmore is alive, by the way, instant criticism of the army, the military, the government straight away, and all that stuff they spread around. You know, got killed and no one didn't even know about. So that sets it up straight away, doesn't it? This is not going to be a look at what we did over there, aren't we? Kind of look at how good we are. Right from the off, you know, this is going to be a different take on your war movie, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so if Delmore Barry's alive and he meets him, because he seems quite upbeat initially, he's smiling. So if he's alive, what is Rambo doing there? What is the idea here? I'm going to meet an old Nam buddy. Everything's okay. We're going to have a few drinks and all the stuff. I'm going to be struggling. Everything's fine. Is that? Do we think that's what that is, or is there an inevitability? Sometimes this sounds a bit like a book discussion group. Sorry, or an English literature class. Sorry,
that's what we're doing.
So is the character then? So does that? Is there an inevitability as to the breakdown? Is that coming? Whatever happens, is it a case of when, not if?
No.
Or do we think that is this a cry for help at the beginning?
It's not a cry yet. Okay, a cry for help is desperation. That's what you get at the end. Okay. And this is just my opinion, literally. I am a car painter. You know, former Army Ranger for all of 2 minutes.
Until you lift the ride.
To my credits now. All I had to do was just sign. And I'd be dead. But other than that, so if you have to take the movie as a whole, okay? So the best way to look and understand the past is to look at the future or events after, and how does that play out? So you ask, like at the beginning of the movie, he's in a good mood. He's like, hey, look at it. And he's cheerful. He's like, look how big he is. Look at how you had to put him in the back. Otherwise, well, no kidding. That's what everybody does when they take pictures. Thanks. But yeah, and it's, you know, he's walking. And it still shows like he's walking through life. And he's happy to do so in his own mind. And he's looking for his friends. Okay. Which you find out later in the movie, he was the last one. That's why at the beginning of the movie, you don't know, but he's got his book. He's got his address. This is where my friends are. This is the last one, which you find out later. Because at the end, you take the opening of the movie and then you take the end speech. And it's like, they're all in the end speech. He's like, they're all gone. They're all gone. And then Troutman's like, you're the last of this breed. You're the last. Don't go out this way. Right. He's cheerful because he's trying to go see a friend. Because at the end, what does he say when he's like, this is what happens? He's like, I see these images in my head. I can't get them out. I'm all alone. I don't even talk to anybody for days.
Yeah, sometimes a day, sometimes a week.
Some days, weeks. And it's all in his head. So he's like, I can't. And it's like, he does, I wish I could quote it verbatim, but it's so like, poignant to everything. Like this is a movie we shouldn't be doing now. We should be doing this in November, because everything he's saying is like and literally to the point of what I was telling you about my father. How did my father not end up like that? Not that he was a Green Beret, not that he was special forces, but my father had that, or had the PTSD, like a lot of people. That you can't not. Okay, how do you deal with it? Don't isolate.
Yeah.
Have friends, talk to people. That was the point. He was going to Delmore Barry to talk to, and then you support each other. And then that's how, you know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily have to turn out like that. How did my dad end up the way he is? I mean, he came home and didn't isolate, had a family, and was like, this is my life. You know, so he might not have literally talked about that, but he took it and moved on. If all you do is wander the earth and think about your past, all you're going to do is relive your past.
Yeah.
Right.
So if he's not broken enough at the point where he goes to see Delmore, so the idea here is to
Delmore was the last straw.
Yeah. So this is him. I need to connect. I need to do this. So as he's walking away, it's a very quick shot, and I don't think this is in the book, and I don't know who came up with it. But as he's walking away from the lady with the line, so Delmore Barry's mum, I'm assuming.
Yeah, his mum, yeah.
We don't know, but we think it is.
Yeah.
As he's walking away, you see him throw paperwork into what looks like a fire.
Into the fire, yeah.
Yeah. Now, is that him then saying, then that's it, then that's my past, that's me, my last attempt to connect, that's me gone.
Right.
That's it.
And now he's lost, wandering. Yeah, he's wandering
Mm-hmm.
alone. Like he gives her the picture.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, here, you could keep the picture. The book is meaningless. They're all gone. That was his book of of everybody's addresses and on who he can get in contact with. Troutman, you find out later, isn't answering him.
Yeah,
right?
he's been trying to get hold
He's
of
like, I reached out to you, and he's like, yeah, they got me up in Washington, shining the seat with my ass.
My ass.
Yeah. So, he has nobody. So this is, and to his credit, to this character's credit, he doesn't just, end it himself. He goes to hope. He's looking for hope. He finds hope and gets crushed yet again. He just needed somebody, not that, but, but here's the thing. It's like Teasel, he's not the guy and he says it later. Teasel says it. What did you want me to do? Give him a hug? What would you do if you saw him? How would you handle him if you saw him? I'm not blaming Teasel. That's like any guy would. I shouldn't say that. I don't expect you to give him a hug, but you don't treat him the way you treated him.
Yeah.
You don't have to kick him out of the town. It's like,
that's the thing.
You could have just monitored him. You could have just been like, you want to get something to eat? You know where he is. It's a small town.
Yeah. Yeah. When are you going? Okay, fine. No worries.
Yeah,
get out of this town by sundown. Don't, it's fine.
Yeah, there was a big difference between what Teasel did and what he's like, what did you expect me to do? Give him a hug? Well, there you go. You're lying about the situation. You were the, antagonist to this situation. And you didn't realize who you were antagonizing. That's basically what happened.
So that's the next point, which is the other thing then. So, okay. So, and I've got a new perspective on this because having just watched it again now, even though the hundreds of times I've seen it. So, okay. So Teasel comes out, gets in the car, sees Rambo and says to him, right, he said, you wearing that flag, wearing that jacket, looking the way you do, you're asking for trouble around here. Yeah. Now, every time before this last time I watched it Saturday, Sunday, whatever it was, I've always thought that was a military comment or an anti-military comment because the jacket's clearly an army jacket. It's army surplus jacket. I mean, obviously, it'll be actually an army jacket, won't it? I've assumed that's what he came back wearing. And it's got his name on it. It's got the Old Glory on the arm. So what do you think that means? Because, like I said, I thought it was anti-military. I don't know for reasons I'll explain in a minute.
Yeah.
But what is he getting at there? Is he getting at the, soldiers coming back from Vietnam? We don't like you. We don't want you in this town. Or is it just he thinks he is a vagrant and that's it?
Yes, it's. I think it's. He's former military as well.
He's Korea. He fought in Korea, according to the book. Yeah.
So he's former military as well.
Hmm.
And there's I forget what movie it was. But again, one of my best friends, Derek, former Marine, other guys I've known in my life, my dad, other people, anybody you know, I go to Derek because the Marines, it's crazy. Probably because I've known other Marines too, but I've probably had the most conversations with Derek about it. The uniform is everything. Right. The uniform is the flag. It's the representation of the country. And you don't desecrate the flag and you don't desecrate the uniform. So Teasel saying what he said wasn't anti-military. It was actually pro-military because the way he was dressed and how dirty he was and the flag on his arm being dirty, he was desecrating the uniform and the flag.
Okay.
You see what I mean? That's how I took it because he's like, clean him up. He smells. He's this, he's that. And to your point, yes, he's a vagrant. That's why, he is dirty. But, and at that, so the uniform is everything. Like when you're out, it's like, now, if you're in combat, it's a different story. That's why you have your quote fatigues, right? And then you have your uniform. And that jacket was part of the uniform. It wasn't necessarily like part of the fatigue, and he's not in combat at this time. So you're walking around, like you're in combat, like you're desecrating the flag, the country, and the uniform.
Okay, so I had always thought, again, this is me not knowing that it was an unpopular war when I saw it way back when.
Right?
There is a suggestion I think that I got this time. They don't know he's a soldier until Galt says, "What do you know? Old Harry here is a soldier with his tags."
Right.
And even then, only when he's given them, when they see them, they don't think he's a soldier. They're taken from him. They're given to Galt. Galt looks at them and goes, "Oh, Rambo, John Jay. What do you know? Old Harry here is a soldier."
Yeah.
So that then might suggest that Teasel doesn't know he's a soldier, and is it just you're just scruffy wearing the flag and look, and therefore you're just, as far as Teasel's concerned, you're just a disheveled loner, and that's it. And it doesn't make a military connection. This is what it's only just occurred to me this time. Sorry, again, just in my head.
No, it's possible. Like you said, he could just be like vagrant homeless guy, grabbed it at a Salvation Army.
Army surplus. Or,
army surplus, put it on whatever, or just and you're just wandering around, because a soldier, like up until this point, soldiers would have been, okay, that's the uniform. You're not doing. My dad has his jackets like that, but he didn't wear them out. He'd wear them around the house working. If it was cold, like he has a cold jacket, he has warm. He had all his stuff, but you don't wear it out. You wouldn't. That was all meant to be like, you got to be all done. Your shoes have to be polished. Even my dad in the military, all that stuff, everything has to shine. Everything has to look good. You don't just walk around going, Well,
because you'd have also thought, presumably, if Teasel was a vet, and he is, again, from what Morrell said, he's a Korean War vet, that he might spot the signs of someone. If he did make the connection that this is a Vietnam vet, that he might have actually been more empathetic towards him, rather than get out of town and I'll take you up the road and don't come back. I wonder whether therefore he doesn't think he's a soldier, just thinks he's just a vagrant out for trouble, and that's it. But I've always thought, like you did, I've always thought it was a military comment. Well, but looking back at it now, I think maybe not. He just thought he was just wandering. He's just a vagabond, and that's it,
Yeah, now I'm just guessing, because we're talking characters here anyways, but obviously with Morrell writing it, I'm guessing that your assessment is based on today, in your brain today, and how you think, and how we think today, right? There's a lot of, and it's hard to think of it and take the knowledge that we have today and think of it, but a guy like Teasel, and this is why it's like Teasel, that's every man back then. He's not necessarily the bad guy. I mean, he shouldn't have gone as far as he did, but at the same time, everything you're saying is correct. Like, why didn't he clock him? Why didn't he say, like, well, he's a vet? Because nobody thought of it that way back then. It's like, if you had issues, suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah,
That was the mentality back then. That is
Mhm.
not how we treat the flag. You can't be a soldier because a soldier wouldn't do that. And this was like this was the beginning of the change. It's like, I mean,
Mm.
we had, Omar on, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
last
yeah,
year's
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
it literally was Omar's action. I'm not talking out of turn here. He said it on the
No.
show, on the 25-hour show. He lost his job because he said of his PTSD from the nightclub issue,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
He had to go. He's like, I can't do that. I need help. They're like, yeah, that's today, this
Yeah.
day and age, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
10 years ago, something like 5, 10 years, whatever it was, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
this
yeah.
time frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So because of Omar's actions, they've changed the laws. They've changed how we think of, like, we do need help. It was so here you have David Morrell writing about this in 1972. They make a movie about it in 82, and Stallone is acting out that I need help. I need to talk to somebody. And it takes 40 years. Omar loses his job for the exact same action because he needs to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
That's how stupid we are as people. It takes us forever to figure this crap out, right? So you look at Teasel in that time period
Mm.
and you go, why didn't he figure it out? Because nobody had any sympathy, empathy, or anything for anybody else. You were like, I don't care that you were in Vietnam, suck it up.
Mm.
It's like, and that's, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Mm.
he can't be a soldier because all the soldiers I know are clean. They respect it.
Yeah.
And it's not that he was disrespecting the uniform. He's just
Yeah.
lost
Well,
mentally.
is there something then that we get there from, do we learn about Teasel's character very quickly then? Because he's got a cleanliness thing then, hasn't he? Because as he gets into the car, he sees Dave. He goes, "Hey, Dave, you're going to take a bath this week?"
Yeah.
And so maybe that Teasel's got a little bit of, OCD about him.
It's
And
go ahead, finish, because I got
no, yeah. Well, I'm just wondering whether that's a quick throwaway line that you just kind of, you always realize he's a bit of a jerk already for even saying that to someone. And so then, of course, encountering someone like John Rambo, who is then not, and again, he is now feeling completely disconnected. He is, to all intents and purposes, alone. He's broken, doesn't know where he's going. He says, "Oh, Portland." He doesn't know where that
That's
is.
south.
Yeah. So you said you were heading north. And so I wondered again whether that's just Teasel. Therefore, he's in his own head, doesn't like these people like this, and then just thinks he's just rousting a vagrant. He doesn't realize who he's dealing with. He's about to find out. So I wonder if there's a bit of that there. I wonder if that's just his character.
Well, without going on a tangent, let's get back to that, whether he's going south, north, because there's a, we can assess that part of the story.
It is a real town, by the way. Hope is a real town. That is a real place. That's the other thing, which, it's not it wasn't created.
Well, yeah, they weren't going to put up the town signs and the store sign because it's all over the Hope convenience store. It's all over the place. Talking about the Teasel and cleanliness and everything, and like, and this pertains to the uniform being clean and all of that. And it's like, does Teasel have that? Again, back to my dad. Did my dad get this growing up, or did he get it from his time in the military? That is everything. Image is everything, right? And it's like, you want to, look the part. You want to be the part. You got to look the part, right? You want to set your day up right. You dress for the day, right? You might not have the mentality, dress for your day, because the way you look is how you are perceived, 100%, right? And my dad, of all, again, we're talking First Blood or Dave Briggs Sr., I don't know.
No,
One time, my dad and I were working on the house when I was a kid. We had to go uptown. He had to go to the bank, get some money so we could go to the hardware store, right? So he goes to get cash. Goes to the bank, and we're in like t-shirts and jeans. I think he had a ripped t-shirt, paint all over us. Look like he gets in line at the bank, and he goes up and he's like, I need to make a withdrawal. And they're like, could I see some ID? My dad's like, sure. Takes out his wallet, gives him the ID, takes it. We walk out. My dad gets in the car. We get in the car, and he goes, did you see that? I was like, oh, what? I'm probably 10, 12 years old. I was like, what? And he goes, how many times do I go to the bank? And it's like, my dad's job during the week is wear a suit, tie, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is back then where you didn't have debit cards. You needed money. You went to the bank. You had to get your money out of the bank. So he goes, how many times have I gone to the bank? Hey, how you doing? They don't know his name. They don't know, hey, Mr. Briggs or whatever. They don't, what, he goes in and he'd be like, I need to make a withdrawal. They'd be like, here you go, sir, blah, 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 sign, blah, blah, blah. No ID, nothing. The way, when he's dressed in a suit. And he goes, and he tells me, he goes, you dress like this? They're going to ask you who you are, where you are, what you're doing. That's this movie, right? Yeah. That's exactly what you said. It's like, and that's not Teasel, that's everybody, right? You're walking down the street, you got a guy coming at you dressed like Rambo, like First Blood, and he's walking at you. You're like, anything? Oh, let me check that store over there. I'm going to walk on the other side of the street. That's self-defense. That's like, you're like, oh, I'm going to, guy coming at you in a 3-piece suit. You're like, all right, maybe I'll cross because that's got to be a salesman. It's 90 degrees. That guy's in a dark suit coming at me. He's got to be selling me something. But you're not threatened. You just don't want the aggravation, right? But you're making assessments all the time. And your first impression of a person, it's like, this guy must be, do you want to look trustworthy? Do you want to look this? And it's like, that's what we do. And that's basically setting up this movie. Him even making that comment to the town, whatever, is like, you're going to clean yourself up. You see that? It's like Rambo, he's giving up. You got a townsperson giving up. He's not picking on John Rambo. This is how he treats everybody. And that's how everybody treats everybody, to be fair. You might not say it, but that's what you like. Oh, is that guy
it's an instant reaction, isn't it? You form judgment
instinct
before you even know you're doing it. Yeah. So, okay. All right. By the way, hi everyone in the chat. I thought when we went live, we'd have one person in the chat, and that'd be it.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, been a minute, buddy. How you doing, Joe Hutzel in the chat? Haven't talked to you in a while. How you doing, buddy? I hope everything's going well.
Yeah, and Elahi the S has dropped in as well, saying hi. And Jay Van Gordon, Scruffy Kingman, and various others have all dropped in, and we're just chatting away. So we're not ignoring you guys. We're just doing our thing.
Doing our Takeover Tuesday.
It's not Tuesday night. So
no,
it's not Tuesday night. Just so everyone knows.
Where we're going, it could be eventually.
I told you we could do it all day.
Oh yeah. I'm raring to go.
So we then get Teasel, and Rambo in the car. Then, so we then get them in the car, and I think this is one of cinema's great scenes, just in and of themselves. Empire magazine used to have a thing at the end of each issue that said "classic scene," and they would like a script break down one of the classic scenes. This one never appeared in there, and I think it should have done. This one about the why are you pushing me? I haven't done anything to you. Why are you pushing? Yep. And I love the way he said. So Teasel then says, well, because we don't want people like you in this town. Next thing you know, we've got a whole bunch of people like you in this town. And he goes, it's quiet, and I get paid to keep it that way.
Boring.
And you might even say it's boring. And the way Stallone, who gets grief for his acting and everything else, wrongly, I think, most of the time, but the way he looks, he just looks off into nothingness. And just repeats the word boring. Yeah. Like it's like that word means. Now, again, what do you get from that? I take from that this idea of the word boring is almost alien to him. It almost sounds strange in his voice, in his speech, because he's been through so much. This idea of boring is just completely alien to him. That's what I take from that. What do you take from that? Just out of curiosity.
This was, I thought of this, I don't know, years and years ago. Trying to think of where I was, which theater. Pretty sure it was in my last theater, but many years ago. And now I'm trying to think of what projector it was so I could give it a time frame.
I thought you said timestamp.
No, what I always thought of that line, not always, I would say, I've thought of that line as well. For me, because again, everything means something. It's not a throwaway line. Me, it's when he looks off and goes, boring. Why can't he have boring?
Yeah.
Okay. So you think you've made the assessment that I'm here to blow up the town.
Funny enough.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, what did he show up to blow up the town?
Chicken and egg.
Exactly. No, well, yeah. Did he show up to blow up the town, or did Teasel, basically self-fulfilling prophecy? You're here to blow up the town, so I'm going to antagonize you until I'm right. See that? Look at that. I knew he was going to do it. Why would he have blown up the town if you took him to breakfast?
Or just let him go to the diner in town.
That's what I mean. Or be like, or when he goes, I'm heading north, and be like, where you going? Portland. Oh, that's south. Oh, sorry, I forgot where I was. Or like, oh, that's south, buddy. Do you not like, and you be nice about it, be like, oh, do you not know where you are? How long you been? Be simple, you don't have to hug him, but don't be like, because like, and again, like him saying north, I've always thought like, if Portland's south, he's obviously somewhere in Washington, right? Hope, Washington. Heading north, you leaving the country? What's north?
Like, Alaska, isn't it?
No, Canada. Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on where you are. I mean, the whole border is Canada. So the northern border anyways. So is he leaving the country? What is he doing? It's like, that adds to it, his assessment as well. But at the same time, I think Teasel's character, it's more of a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, you don't know this is exactly how he was going to react. This is how he reacted to you. Yeah. And it's like this entire movie was basically the, which is the dynamite and which is the flame. Because you could make the case that it looks like Stallone is the dynamite, but it was like Teasel. Now, is he saying as just let me throw it to you. Is Teasel looking for some excitement? This town is boring.
Yeah.
And I get paid to keep it that way. But I need a little action. I'm going to antagonize you.
Well, yeah, because you're nothing. Yeah.
You're not. I got this. And it's like, and Teasel says it later. It's all these men versus him. Don't forget a good supply of body bags. Yeah, it's like, what are we gonna? We got this. Do you?
Well, So again, is it Teasel just being dismissive of him, looking for trouble where he doesn't think he's going to get any trouble coming back? It does make sense. And Frank, even when he finds the knife, and more about that in a second. So even when he says, right, you're under arrest. By the way, resisting arrest. Really? The criminal defense lawyer in me is like, come on, then we'll take that to court. Anyway.
Resisting arrest, when you know the rest of it, be like, did he really resist? Because I think if he had, he wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, neither would you.
Like,
but even when he finds the knife, this bloody great big knife, even when he finds that, he doesn't twig then, this is someone I need to be very careful of. He still does not. So again, there's arrogance there, isn't it? So there's arrogance, there's potential OCD and cleanliness issues, but this idea that I can push you, as Rambo says, I can mistreat you, I can be an absolute jerk to you, and you can't touch me. And if you do, I'm the might of the law. I am the law. Another Stallone movie that you love so much. Where he says, you've put it out of your mind, I'm sure, where he says Judge Dredd, doesn't he? I am the law.
Yeah.
So,
I am the law.
So he says, I am the law. You will not you won't give this to me. I'm giving this to you. I'm the one that gives the orders around here. And so arrests him. And even, as I said, finding this knife, doesn't think, what am I doing? Why am I pushing this guy? And still just carries on with it. And we then get to the police station where it then becomes a whole new level. Because then, of course, it's not just Teasel. Once you get to the police station, it's all the officers apart from David, what's his name? He's the gingerhead guy. David. I want to say Carradine. It's not Carradine, of course it isn't.
No.
Him. The guy who's in NCIS, isn't he, from there?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
David. I know I've got Carradine in my head, and I know
I have not Cassidy, Carradine.
David. Oh my gosh! Right, I'm gonna have to look it up. It's gonna do
hang
my
on.
head.
I'm gonna find it.
Right, First Blood. Right, let's have a look. Let's see if it'll give it. Oh gosh,
Caruso.
It is David Caruso, isn't it?
David Caruso, yeah.
first bit. Okay, so yeah, so other than him, who is the only one who seems to think, actually, we're here to protect and serve. This is a person, and what he says, look at Jesus. You see, what's this guy been through? We need to tell Teasel. Other than him, all jerks and Gold psychopathic. I mean, he's a. I mean, which then takes me to this. Do we think that they blast him with water, which I would say is torture.
Yes,
because I mean,
many
I
would.
don't know whether that, well, quite
with a fire hose.
Whether that would have been, well, indeed. Do we think that was commonplace, or is this already exaggerated? Is this Hollywood?
No, and that's what David Caruso's character was, I think. And you saw like levels of it. You like so Galt was
Scruffy got Caruso. Yeah, what a Scruffy.
Yeah, Scruffy got it too. I think he got it like the exact, because I was looking down. I'm like, I just pulled up the thing, the character, like the cast. So Galt is the extreme. I think Galt is actually worse than Teasel.
Well, Galt is homicidal, isn't he? I mean, he's trying to torture Rambo.
Yeah,
I mean,
he wants to kill him. I mean, that's Galt ends up dying because he's trying to kill him at all costs. Like this is his. And again, they were best buddies. Him and Teasel were best buddies. So they were like, they grew up together, and you could kind of see. Again, like, okay, maybe that's why like they're both looking for a little bit more and like action, like excitement in this boring town. Now here Galt is, I have, a justified excuse to kill somebody. It's like, who knows? It's like I need to kill somebody, and there you go. I'm looking for some excitement. Here's the person that I want to do it to. So he's a sociopath. But
because there's torture first. I mean, this is the thing. This is where Galt's
clean them up, get them behind the ears.
Yeah,
it's like,
because I'm assuming that if Teasel and the officers treat him, they're jerks to him, but if they don't push it to the point where because he only snaps when they're behaving,
they keep going. And then they come at him with to shave him, and he's like, that's it, I've had too much.
Which is also weird. Why do you have to be shaved to be in front of a judge? That's the other thing.
They don't, necessarily you didn't have to. It's just a part of the thing. Like, they're just having fun with the guy. And I love the line at the end. Again, it's not the end, but later on when we're talking, when they're in the tent talking with the state police, and it's like somebody comes to him. And now, like I was saying, like Galt is one end of the spectrum. You got Caruso's character at the other end of the spectrum. The guys you could see, they're all in the middle. They're like different levels of, but they're not as bad as Galt, and they're more. Some of them are actually closer to Caruso's character. Even the guy that's shaving him, he isn't imagining anything. He's like, hey, he's just saying, okay, whatever. Galt's my superior, so I'm just doing what he tells me to do. And even Teasel doesn't know about any of this. Maybe he would have put a stop to it, like he says. So they're talking in the tent with the state police, and he's like. They go, hey, they were a little rough with them downstairs. That's telling you, no, this isn't normal. This isn't how you do things, right? And then he's like, and even the state police, that's the first sympathetic character to Rambo. And he's like, Jesus, like he knew right away, like the state police guy is like, he knew right away. He's like, that's why we're here? Because you guys are roughing up a Green Beret. Is like, what are you doing? And then Teasel tries to squash it by going, you know as well as I know. I think his name was Dave. He goes, you know as well as I know, Dave, if something goes wrong, the prisoner comes to me. How the hell was he going to get to you?
One of my deputies gets out of line, he comes to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like while he's literally butt naked, being sprayed with a fire hose. Hey, I got my rights. Can I talk to Teasel, the guy that threw me down here, by the way? Like, hello.
But that's another clue to the PTSD that's ignored as well, of course, with the scars.
Oh,
and again, Caruso says, he says then, doesn't he? Like, Jesus, what has this guy been through?
So he goes, we got to report this to Teasel. He says away, we got to report this to. No, it's like,
so it's another sign pointing to someone. It's not your common or garden vagrant, someone who has been through something, and of course he's ripped as well. Yeah. So this is your other thing. And yet, they just carry on and ignore it. Deej, I need just 2 minutes, mate. Can I just quickly just dip out? You all right to just do the chat with those starred comments?
I'll talk to the chat.
Probably 2 seconds, no more than
2 seconds. Take a wee break. That's a short break, not or necessarily could be something else. Yeah, Scruffy in the chat. I could chat all day. Yeah, that's I saw that go by earlier, and I'm like, yeah, that's the line from Captain America. I could use. I could do this all day. Yep, absolutely. Joe in the chat. Do you see he got the Kennedy Center honor finally? Who are we talking about? I don't know who we're talking about. We talking about Stallone. We talking about Morrell, or are we talking about something else? Let me know. But yeah, we got chat. Scruffy saying I watch too much content, but I don't know if you heard me. I just said Joe in the chat just said, did you see he got the Kennedy Center honor finally?
He did.
Who did? I didn't know. Who's that pertain? Who's he? Oh, he did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did.
I did not see that.
He was awarded it by Mr. Trump. Some talk, by the way, of Stallone maybe having a hairpiece. Allegedly.
He's old.
He is getting on. But anyway,
yeah,
it's quite blatant too because he's rearranging it.
Yeah.
Maybe his buddy Trump helped. Anyway,
yeah.
So more allegedly. Yeah. So okay. So they do what they do. He snaps, and that's when you get the. By the way, the fighting's not very clever. I think looking back at that's not very convincing. He just kind of taps a couple of guys with his elbow, and they go right through the windows and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
that's a little dated.
My favorite, and I've winced since not the first time I saw it because you don't know what's coming, but every time since I've winced. When he sweeps the legs and comes down the elbow on his nose and breaks his nose. And he's like, ah! I was like, every time that happens, I wince because I've had my nose broken so many times and you're just like, the pain. And I'm like, I see his elbow. He starts to, he drop up to drop it. And all I could think, I could just feel it. I'm like, oh God, that hurts. I hate that.
Oh yeah. So I've seen enough broken noses on a rugby pitch. And just see the blood just go.
Well, the blood goes, but what's hard about it is you can't see either because your eyes well up. It's just like, it's not a cry. It's like, you're not like, oh my God, my nose. It's like, you're like, all right, your eyes just fill with water. And it's like being under a pool, in the water. And you're like, you try to look in the water and you're like, everything's blurry. That's what the life is like. It's like, I've had it happen on the ice. And you're like, smash. And I keep trying to get the play going, keep playing the play. Because I'm like, the last time it happened, I was like, I don't want him to score. I'm in the slot. I'm playing defense. Boom, blood. And I'm like, all right, where's the puck? Where's people? Where's everyone? I'm like, help. Can't see. Oh, yeah. But yeah, every time I see that, it makes me wince. But
it is a bit, it's very theatrical though, isn't it? I mean, why do you need to sweep the leg when he's got something in his hands? What you got to do is punch him. He's not going to be able to stop you. He's holding something.
Yeah. Well, you don't know. It's like, but yeah, it's like sweep the leg, drop the elbow. It's like, what are you going to do? Takes the one guy, throws him out the window. I thought that was great. Yeah. And
this is our first attempt. This is where we get our heroic version of the theme. When he comes out the doors and down the steps, that's when you hit the dun in a much more kind of heroic way. And then surprisingly, you then see Stallone seemingly doing a lot of his own stunts on the bike chase.
That's not Stallone.
Well, not all of it.
Yeah,
he's riding up the sidewalk.
Yeah,
people getting out the way, and you can the ADR is a bit.
You see that, but when he comes around the corner and he's like, slides the back end of the bike, goes around the tree. You see that, and it's the hairline. That is not Stallone's hairline. You can see that clear as day. It's like it's like Stallone has a hairline like similar to mine. Like you got the widow's peak type of thing. It's like he has the stunt man has a straight across, right?
Yes.
And it's like, what the hell is that? It's like, I mean, he's dressed like him, kind of looks like him, but it's like he comes around the corner, the wheelie, it's like, boom, pull away. But then they do a close up, be like, get your mind back into, yep, that's him.
Yeah. But if you compare that to Cobra, where he's riding the bike, none of that's Stallone other than literally kind of like he just goes like that off camera. Everything else is someone else completely. And yet in this, he is riding it at speed.
Yeah,
along the sidewalk, and he's shouting and everything else. As I said, there is some serious ADR issues there, but because what he's shouting and what he's saying are two different things.
Well, his lips don't really move the way a normal person's lips move anyway.
No.
So is it really ADR?
Yeah, no, it really is. And then we get him up in the woods, and then we get our Rambo moment with our things there where we've got the Dobermans and hunting on sight and all the rest of it.
That's that's
which is what people remember First Blood for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's teenager like that it was like teenager fresh out of Boy Scouts, teenager playing what we called guns in the woods, then teenager survival, like I'm opening up on everything about my dad. I can open up on me too. I used to run away a lot. That's teenage surviving in the woods, surviving here. It's like doing all that stuff and being like, that's it. I'm out. I can take out. And it's like, you see that stuff and you're like, yep. Like even now I watch that movie and on this viewing, I'm like, he's trained. He knows the woods. He can eat things that'll make a billy goat puke. But he also knows, like you see, he takes his knife out. He knows how to utilize a compass, right? He knows, and he does. He looks and he goes like this. He could have, and then later on, you see, he can hide. They're literally coming off on him, and it's like, I love the scenes when he jumps out and he like stabs him in the leg, throws him aside, doesn't kill him, but he camouflages himself, and then he goes, moves on to the next person. This is where, like, you did everything, the line from Troutman, you did everything to make this war happen, this private war happen, right? Which is a loaded line because that's Vietnam too. But now you have the individuals coming home and taking the same mentality that put them in that war in the first place. But you did because he could have avoided the entire situation. He could have either kept running away, but that's why in the movie, I think they put the cliff there. Okay, there's the reason he couldn't keep running. But he could have buried himself and let the skirmish line pass him and just walked out the back.
We've got the dogs as well. This is why we have the dogs.
He could have been gone before they brought the dogs up. Right? Like I'm talking before he climbs down the cliff, before he does it, his wherewithal, he could have gone up the side of the cliff. He knows there's rivers in the area, right? You want to lose the dogs? Just get in the river. They can't track you. You get in the river, cross to the other side. If they pick you up on the other side, you get back in the river and you get out where you got out before. You would confuse the dogs, right? He could have done all of this. This is the part where it's like, he wanted this too. He has anger issues. He's got to get this crap out, right? So it's like, and I part of it is like, you and I have had private conversations about incidents where I get mad at myself, and I'm like, I could have avoided that situation. I should have avoided. I'm mad if I don't avoid that situation. That's something like this. But there are times when you get angry, and I've told you, like, you get angry, and you gotta have that situation. It doesn't mean it's right. It's still wrong. But I think that's what he's doing here.
Yeah, I mean,
that character.
Is he ever acting out of revenge though? Ever? I mean, I think perhaps by the end, because he does go back into town. There, I think that's vengeance. He's become Batman at that point. I am vengeance. Yeah. And I think so. At the point he goes to town, it's vengeance. But I think even with his training and his ability to get away or whatever, I still think that's defensive action. Because if it was just death and destruction, other than in the book, which you're saying is which is defensive and which is vengeful.
Well,
I think at the point where you could have done something different, so when he goes back into town, he could have just got into the truck. You're right, Steve Darth Brockstar. Yeah, sorry, did his TTS 5.1. We'll get onto home cinema.
We'll get to that.
Yeah,
maybe we'll save the home cinema part of it for later this afternoon in the show.
Later this afternoon, tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Tuesday afternoon, the live show. That's the live show. We're in one. But yeah, we'll do the home cinema part.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. In fact, let's do that because we can then cross-refer to this.
Yeah.
I think when he goes out of his way to return to then wreak destruction, and of course he's after Teasel, isn't he? When he goes back to the town, he's going for Teasel. So that's vengeance. That's, I'm getting my own back here. I think up in the woods, because, or at least the way they portray it, what we don't know, of course, is the passage of time. We don't know. It's not. I think it might be said. I'm not sure, but it's not clear. Are we talking? They're all there within an hour? Are they talking 12 hours? Are we talking longer? So we don't know how.
Well, they got to get there before it gets too dark.
So we're talking
it's
an
the
afternoon?
sun. I'm thinking it's the next morning. Okay, because when he calls for the dog, it's going to be getting dark soon. Get him. So and it's going to rain or whatever. We need the dogs that can hunt on sight.
Yeah.
So, but and you can see at that time it's also getting darker. So what I'm thinking is he literally holed up in the woods overnight. By the time the state police get there and everybody in that time to set up their camp at the base of the mountain, wherever they are, right? That's going to take, at least I'm thinking 8 hours to get the people in and you see how much. So they don't explicitly tell you time frame, but just imagine the time frame for this. Now, yes, they would be hurrying because they're trying to trap them in an area, but it's got to be 8 to 12 hours, probably the next morning, something like that.
But by the time, but in terms of the length of time between him going up the hill on the bike, Teasel car going over, the sheriff encounter where he then takes them all out, that seems to be quite short. In which case, that's a defensive action. Couldn't do much else. I had to protect myself. They were coming with dogs and everything else, and guns. They've shot at him, as we know by this point. Galt is gone. So I think at that point there is again, the defense lawyer in me says there's an argument to say that's a defensive action. He's been mistreated. He's been shot at. They've made an attempt to kill him.
And he's telling them to let it go.
Yes.
Right. I mean, think of the line. Think of the movie. It's like it's like let it go, and he's got the knife to his throat. He could have. He's like, I could have killed you. I could have killed all of them. Let it go. Right.
Yeah.
Jump cut. We didn't let it go. It's like they literally brought in the army. It's like and then Troutman shows up
at the bottom of the ravine when Galt's body's there. So he says, "Someone's been hurt. I don't want anyone else to get hurt." And they shoot at him again.
Yeah, and he fakes it.
Yeah,
he fakes it like he's wounded. He like you could get shot in the eye.
I'd be fine
and run away. That guy's a badass. I just shot him in the eye. But he's like, oh, and he runs away, So it's like, all right, and he's like, oh, he's wounded, and they immediately think he's wounded, and that's what even Teasel said. He's wounded. Let's get him. They're not thinking the wound on his arm. If you're like, just you're watching this movie, you're like, oh, they must have noticed the wound. No, he's thinking he shot him. He's wounded. Let's hunt him down. Now we thought we could handle him before. Now he's wounded. We can definitely handle him now.
Yeah.
That's don't underestimate your opponent, and that's what he's setting up there by faking and then like running off. Be like you're setting them up, and that's what he did the whole movie. And then
even at that point when he's told by Caruso, this guy's a real bad, he's a Green Beret, he's a this, that, and the other. Again, Teasel's response to that is not okay.
No respect.
Let's exactly. It's not
like, respecting his opponent.
Let's get people in that know what they're doing, and also so you've got that generational disrespect as well. I think it's the kids today. They're not as tough as we were when we were in. But also then it is a cycle of violence here as well, isn't it? So you've got it begins with the conversation in the car. He's exacerbated by the police because of how they treat him in the cells. It then he then pushes back. Galt dies. That cycle then goes on anew. So now Teasel is out for personal revenge, as he says to Caruso's character. He and I were doing this while you were, whatever it was. Yeah. And so this cycle of violence is then continuing, isn't it? And then culminates in everybody's favorite John Ciccone unit, the National Guard.
Yeah.
Now, had they been made, because they are made to look stupid in this film.
Yeah.
I don't think any National Guardsman in this movie comes off as other than a weekend warrior, don't know what they're doing, which again, I think is unusual because I hadn't seen a movie like that before. Well, it would make fun of, the home guard, as it were.
Right.
Was that a thing then, or is this a first, as far as you know?
Well, no, I would say, I can't remember if it was a thing then, because I certainly didn't look at it that way.
No.
When John joined. right?
Well, exactly.
Not even a thought, right?
Yeah.
I think in this context, I think it's just more of it's literally a everything has been, all military has been disrespected. John Rambo has been disrespected. He's a Green Beret. All he's getting is disrespected, right? So now we bring in the guards. Now, maybe there was, and it's like you're asking the question, maybe there would be a level of it to, you think you're in the military? You do, from military people, right? It's like from actual people, like I had and I'm not saying my dad never, ever, if he even thought this, never would even express it. Like the things he said to me otherwise, he would never say this, but I could see somebody, a veteran like my father, right? That's drafted, didn't have a choice. There was no choice. You got drafted and got sent and maybe didn't even come home, right? Or you did come home, went through hell, and now you think you're in the army?
Yeah.
You think you're in the army? And you're like, I got to get back to the drugstore, Yeah. Geez, I got to get back to the drugstore in the morning. Well, you better clean it up. But it's like, you know what I mean? So there's that perspective, and that's probably what they're trying to portray here. And that they do without saying, so if you're writing it or you're trying to show it in a movie without making fun, without a character saying those things, you portray the characters that way, the way people in society would think of them. You know what I mean? So it'd be like, haha, see, that's, you know what I mean? Without actually going, you don't have Teasel be like, can we get real army people in here? You're not going to say that. So what you're going to do is you're going to have the guardsmen act like the way they do, which in reality, I don't think any guardsman would ever act that way, because they would be, I know guardsmen now. I don't think they acted. I'm picturing what I shouldn't even say. I know guardsmen now. Actually, I do. They're really young. But when I was of that age, I knew a lot of people that were in the guards. None of them acted that way. And I knew people and at that time, it was late 80s, early 90s, we had Desert Storm happen. All of those people ended up in Desert Storm.
Yeah,
they're the first to go.
They went over.
Yeah, they go over. And it's like, they're like, up to, they weren't like that. So I think that was more of remember, this whole the book and the movie is all about the disrespect that these individuals get from the military when they come back, or the disrespect that the general population is giving to the military, which is, I don't even know. I'd have to ask my dad. Well,
I hadn't seen it before.
When he came home from Vietnam, it was completely different. And I think that's why we have the people just randomly go up to military and say, thank you for your service now.
Yeah, which they don't do here. No one does that here. You guys have a veneration, and I mean this respectfully. This is not me poking fun at it, but the Americans have a veneration for their military that the UK, we respect the soldiers, but you never. Right. If you said to a soldier over here, "Thank you for your service," they'd look at you as if you were a bit unwell.
Now, do you? Is it volunteer, or is there because I know
there's no conscription here. We don't have conscription here. There's no and there's no military national service. There was during the war, but there's not anymore. In fact, it's
all volunteer.
Germany, funny enough, last week, Germany passed an act of parliament that they're now going to reintroducing national service. Voluntary at the moment, but they've said very clearly it might not be voluntary for long. So Spain still have it. Spain have got national service, and they've never got rid of it because of their civil war that they had.
Yeah, I worked at a restaurant. It was owned by these two brothers, Greek, and to keep your citizenship, one of the brothers had to go back and serve 2 years because that's part of your. In Greece. So that was part of it. But you just had to go. It was like part of you did 2 years and then that was it.
Yeah, citizenship.
To keep your citizenship. Yeah.
So they're definitely, this is the only film I've seen where the guards seem to be, or at least until this time, and even now really, where the National Guard are portrayed as idiots. And I don't think the film is ambivalent about that. I think it's clear that they are idiots, that they shoot when they're told not to shoot. They fire a bazooka and get all excited when it blows up. They talk about they reenact Iwo Jima, don't they? The famous flag from thing. It's just like, you idiots. And funny enough, again, we'll talk home cinema tomorrow or this afternoon. But funny enough, we hear one of them talks about, just like at Iwo Jima. That's something that I hadn't picked up for. That's a dialogue off camera.
Yeah,
they say just like Iwo Jima, and then they cut back, and that's what they're doing. And then, of course, talking of soldier of fortune, they're glory hunters. They're, again, the disparaging term, weekend warriors.
Yeah,
and so there does seem to be that here. So he encounters them. They think they've got him, and this, of course, then becomes what David Morrell apparently says is the whole reason for First Blood. Is at the time he wrote this, he had been reading about the hero's journey. This idea that you have, and this is all in the commentary. This is not new. This is in the commentary on the DVD. I'm just parroting it and paraphrasing. So it's probably oxymoronic there, isn't it? You're either paraphrasing or you're parroting. You can't be doing both. Anyway, one of the two. And he talks about, so therefore you have the character who is one at the beginning one way, goes through a trial and tribulation, and then comes out the other side changed some other way. And of course, here literally we have the mine.
Yeah, it comes out the other side.
Exactly, literally goes through it and comes out the other side. And by the way, this is one of the few films that has a rat wrangler in the credits.
Yeah.
So it's an official rat wrangler, and yet they weren't rats. They were apparently lab mice painted black to sort of look like rats. I mean, they're big mice, but apparently
don't they have rats. I thought they had the tail, because mice don't have tails.
Yeah, they do. Like mice have tails.
Not like that. Long?
Well, this is IMDb, but it says rat wrangler in the credits. But apparently they're painted black. They're like lab mice painted black. So he goes through that, which of course is when he burns himself as well in real life. Yeah. This is where Stallone burns himself when he's wrapping that thing around the lantern. He is burning himself, but still does it. There's a commitment to the craft.
Oh yeah, they do have tails. Here you go.
Yeah.
Check this out.
You've not caught mice. I've caught mice. Yeah, not Mickey or Minnie, but I've caught mice.
I don't. Here's one for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put this on the screen.
Go on, then go for it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That little guy.
It's a little field mouse. Yeah,
little field mouse. And it's funny. I texted this. It's actually a video. I texted this to my family. I was working the other night, and I get the tractor out. I'm using the tractor to move I'm digging a hole, but I look down, and he's sitting there the entire time. He sat with me for probably half hour, just sitting there. He must have been in it. I started it. He comes out, and he's sitting there, and he's just along for the ride the whole time. And so I texted to my family, and they're like, Greg was like, send that to Steve. Like, yeah, we got one. But yeah, that little mouse. So yeah, there you go. There's the tail. But he's tiny.
Yeah.
That's sitting on the steering column. For the people in the audio only, I've got a picture of a mouse sitting on the steering column of my John Deere tractor.
A little mouse with clogs on.
Yeah.
It was like so there's some suggestion that they were lab mice that were painted black.
Yeah.
Maybe it was lab rats painted black. I don't know, but I could have swore it said mice. But anyway, so he is a rat wrangler. So he burns himself in real life, goes through that, comes out the other side. And that's a really convincing set, by the way. Obviously, that looks really threatening and horrible and gruesome. Oh, yeah. And, it never looks anything less than what it is. It's very well done. And then then he comes out, and then we now get our rip-roaring rampage of revenge.
Yeah.
And heads back into town. And again, the heroic theme, when the truck bursts through the police cars, it then goes again, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Gets dark very quickly, though, I have to say. The truck goes through the cars, daylight, cuts, and it's pitch black. Like, where's he been? Has he been for a quick drive around?
I don't remember it taking him that long to get into the mountains. But at the same, actually, you know what? And I know that. All right, just dawned on me now. Dawned. There you go. Just
dusked on.
Just dusked on me now. Think about it. Okay. All right. He leaves Hope, heads to the mountains, right? So say that mountain was south of Hope, right? Or whatever. Yep. I'm just giving you a direction. So he heads from Hope to the mountain. goes up the mountain, goes in, it gets caught on that side of the mountain, right? Because it took him that long on a motorcycle to get there. He finds the mine, goes into the mine, goes through the mine, comes out the other side of the mountain.
Possibly.
Well, that's what they're
no, it can't be. No, it's not, because when he comes out, because the stuff's
can
still
see
there.
that. So he comes out the side, goes down the mountain. Now, if you're at the top, like a mountain has a peak, and you go down it, you're going away from the people, which would mean you're further away from hope. And now, as you go down a mountain, it gets wider and wider. And I know this from mountain biking. I've done this to myself. My friends hate it when I do this to them. We go up the mountain, the parking lot's at the bottom, and we come down the wrong side and have to do like 20 miles of road on the bike to get back. So there you go. He comes down the other side of the mountain and now has to take the truck and go all the way around.
But the bridge, he crosses the bridge in the truck, because they lay the roadblock. Why would the local police, even the state police, lay a roadblock outside of town?
They said they had the whole mountain surrounded.
Yeah.
Remember they had the whole mountain surrounded. And it's like, remember they said, we have the whole mountain surrounded. You can't get out. So there's going to be, military all the way around the mountain. So that's where he was able to get a truck. And like even Troutman, to the point, like I meant to say this earlier, he's got Teasel with the knife, let it go at the, they don't let it go. Teasel walks in and goes, let him go. Let him go. Like, make it look like he escaped. Open up an opening for him to find. He'd get it, and you'll pick him up at a car wash in
Seattle.
So there you go. So, but you see what I mean? It's like obviously you're trying to catch the guy. You're not going to keep all of your resources at the same side he went up. They literally tell you the mountain is surrounded. So, and now he comes down the other side and has to go back around the mountain, because now he's like, you pissed me off. You couldn't let it go. I said let it go. You wouldn't let it go. Now you've got all these people after me. I don't want to hurt anybody else. I'm coming for you. So he comes back to the town, and to the point that Teasel even says, he's in my town now. He's on my ground. That's his place. Now he's in my town. He's coming back going, you don't own crap. It's like, I'm going to show you. No, don't think that it's just because I was in the woods. I'm coming for you, and I'm going to ruin your town.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We actually haven't talked much about Troutman. Do you know who was originally cast in the role and actually shot footage? Do you know who it was? It wasn't Richard Crenna.
No, I know. I did.
Very, very famous actor who might have actually overshadowed the movie, and probably would have done. There becomes a different dynamic of this if this person is cast. Kirk Douglas was cast and actually shot footage, but he fell out with the director and the producers and Stallone, because he kept changing his dialogue. He kept rewriting his scenes.
Oh, geez.
And they're like, look, we can't do this. You can't do it, and would not let it go. Again, according to the director's commentaries and stuff. And so they got rid. But they shot footage of him as Troutman. There were pictures on the DVD of him in full Troutman costume. Yeah. And Crenna was we just need someone. Get us someone. Anyone will do. He'll do. Let's bring him in. Yeah. And of course, it became his career-defining role. And turned a bit part. I mean, by the time you get to Rambo 3, he's almost joint billing. He's got way more dialogue than Rambo has. By the time you get to Rambo 3, well, yeah, quite. But he gets a lot of it in. I mean, in 3, he does all the heavy lifting with the plot. When we have the slightly traumatic. We've had our Vietnam. Now you're going to have yours. The geopolitical issues of Rambo 3 we could be talking about forever. But yeah. So
stay on target.
He is great. Crenna's awesome in this film. I mean, I just, and he doesn't even have to talk. When you know exactly what he's thinking when you see him stood outside of the mine. Yeah. And you see that little wisp of smoke, and he just gives that little look, and you know exactly that he knows he's not dead.
Oh yeah.
That's so cool.
And again, his character in the movie and his character in the book, I think he did, Crenna did a good job mixing the two. If you, I don't know if he knew or if they gave him direction from the book character, because the book character, he is cold. He is cold-hearted. He is just like, it's business, right?
Yeah.
It's like these people, and I think they allude to that with Troutman's line with, you know, Brian Dennehy says, he's like, you came out here because one of your machines blew a gasket. Right. And it's like, and in the book, that's what Troutman was. It was literally like, he was like this, they were tools. And to be fair, that is the military, right? That's like, that's how you have to, you know, that, you know, you have your chain of command, but that from every branch, whether you're the general, everybody below you is a tool. Right. And it's like, I need you to do this. And that's the idea. It's like, if you don't do what you're told, you're no good to me because I need this done. It's like, if you could speak to a wrench and you said, I need you to turn this bolt, and the wrench just said, no, I'm going to hit it. That's not a good tool. It's like, you're not a hammer, you're a wrench. Right. So that's the idea. And it's like, so he comes out in the book to, you know, his tool blew a gasket, or his machine blew a gasket. In the book, in the movie, you know, Krenner's trying to portray like he's still cold.
Yeah.
But when he needs it for most of the movie, which I think, like we talked about how the score sets the pace up and sets your anticipation up. Well, so does Krenner, where he is cold through most of the movie and just, you know, matter of fact, like, yep, this is it. This is what, you know, let him go, blah, blah, blah. We'll do this, this, and this. Here's your plan, pop, pop, pop. But then at the end, you see him trying to not well up, watching his machine blow a gasket in front of it, right? He is literally acting to, it's a funny way, like when you're trying not to cry, right? You're acting like you're fine. Well, he's acting like he's acting fine. You know what I mean? It's a weird dynamic, but he nails it, you know? And it's like, that's that character. That's the military too.
Well, I think the idea, and of course, he has to be a bit warmer to not end the movie the way the book ends. Because and again, spoilers, but you know what I mean? But bear in mind, we're talking spoilers for an ending that's not in the film.
Right. It's in the book. And if you don't, let's just say in the book, he kills him. He's the one that kills him. He kills
himself. Rambo shoots himself, but as Troutman goes forward, there's a struggle over a gun, and Rambo shoots himself.
But he's mortally, he's going to die, but Troutman ends up taking him out, putting him down. And it's, you know, because that's the best course of action for this machine that blew a gasket. And Rambo actually kills Teasel. And then that's what, you know, it's so
they shot the ending where he shot himself again. He comes towards him, Troutman moves towards him, and as he does that, Rambo pulls the trigger and he dies. And that was the original shot ending from the book. And they obviously realized, there's more to this character.
You can't, but not only that.
Go on. Sorry. Go on.
No, I was going to say, not only that, with the pacing of this movie and the way that Stallone, the way Rambo, I should say, acts in this movie, the character in this movie, it doesn't match up with that ending. The entire movie, he's like, he hasn't killed anybody. Why is he going to do this now?
Well, because he can't see any other way. He is ended.
Right.
He's gone. He's spent. He's done.
Right. But in the book, he's already made that decision, and that's why he's just going on. He's a sociopath in the book. Which I think when Morrell was writing it, that's the kind of person that makes that kind of soldier, which is a whole other dynamic to this movie, right? Like, or to the character, like
the story, to
Troutman. Like, we're going to take the sociopath, we're going to take these people from society, and we're going to pick them out of the draft, and we're going to do this, and we're like, I want you. And it's like, we've assessed that you're the guy, and we're going to take the sociopath that doesn't care, and we're going to teach him all of these things. But then now when the war is over, we're done with you. So you've taken that, I think, is what the book is about. It's like, we've taken the worst of the worst type of person to do this to, a sociopath, and we've taught him all these skills. And then when he comes back, we take no responsibility for it, to which Troutman says in the movie, I tried to get a hold of you. Yeah. You've been ignoring him, which is the basis of the book. Like, so we're going to take these weapons and just, oh, whatever, let him free to society. And this is what happens. Right. So that's the idea of the book. That's a whole other, which is, it's not necessarily the character of John Rambo's fault. He's a sociopath. You just let that loose.
You trained him and then just let him go.
You took somebody that was probably dangerous to begin with, and now you trained him to be lethal. And not only that, caused them irreversible harm to a sociopath. But you know what I mean? But at the same time, here's the other part which is weird. A sociopath wouldn't get upset.
Well, yeah, quite.
You know what I mean? He'd come home and go, yeah, that was okay. Where do I go next? And now he's looking for that war. He's looking for the next. He's looking for not boring.
Yeah.
To which is what, maybe that's what Troutman's, not Troutman, Teasel's character is like, uh-oh, I know these sociopaths. I got to get them out of here. So that's a whole other, but you'd have to know the book to know that part.
Well, I think, yeah. So the story is critical of all of them, isn't it? Because it's critical of the military. Teasel does have a point when he talks about, again, one of your machines has blown a gasket, and he has a point there. There's not many times when he's right in this movie, but I think there he probably is. Troutman is not a clear character at that point in terms of what he's really doing there. He does just kind of turn up. And at times he is cold. He does set him up to be triangulated, he does do the radio thing to set him up, knowing that that's going to bring everyone towards him, potentially putting the pigeons to the cat, as he says, to the cat to the pigeons. And there it is. But I think the movie is critical of the military for that. I think they're critical of the civilians, not just Teasel, but I think generally, hence Rambo's speech about spitting on me, protesting me, who are they to do that? They haven't been there. They haven't been me. So I think it's critical of that as well. And I mean, the movie may be really, rather than it's anti poor treatment of people that need help. It's anti mental health, that kind of thing. So Troutman though is warmer in the film. And there's this one, again, we're talking Krenner, and one of the beautiful little things he does, and I don't know whether it was scripted or whether this is just a little on the day thing. So Rambo, obviously in the original ending, would have shot himself or died, but he reaches to Krenner, to Troutman, and cuddles it, literally for support. Yeah. And Krenner reaches out a hand and he hesitates. I love this little bit. It's such a little moment. And he puts his arm out, and you think he's gonna pat him. He's gonna, it's all right, son. And he hesitates. And then he does it, and it's just like, it's such a cool, again, suggests there is a commander-subordinate relationship there, but there's more. There is
the father figure.
Exactly.
Well, he says it earlier. I'm the only thing he has to family.
Yeah, closest thing he's got to family. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Another reason he was picked to be this person, to be part of this elite fighting group, to be, it's like he has no attachments. He has nothing. He's now expendable, which comes up in 2, where expendable, like nobody's going to miss me back home. Right. Yeah. So Krenner is literally, or I should say, Troutman's been in the military long enough to go back to the Saving Private Ryan days where, okay, this is the last son of a family. We've got to get that one out. That was a literal mentality. Okay. There was heart there. We're in a war here, but we're not going to decimate a family. Okay. So with that line of thinking, the soft part of Troutman's like, okay, I'll pick somebody that has nobody at home looking for him. And you'd be like, that's the military idea. Like, I can send him anywhere. If something happens to him, nobody's missing him. Nobody's going to complain. And that's legit. That's what happens. So, but the problem is when he does come home, nobody was missing him. He has nobody. What do you do with him? And nobody, today's day and age, we look at that, what jerks. They didn't know better then. They didn't know anything more. They didn't, we've since learned from this. These people suffered for this to today, to literally, like we said earlier, like Omar had to lose his job because we still hadn't gotten it through our thick skulls that men need help. In 1982, it took Stallone crawling up Krenner's arm, literally, like you said earlier, crying for help. Hug me, right? Yeah. And it's like, just hold, like this guy that can tear through the military all by himself. He has all these skills, but he just needs somebody to talk to him, which was the beginning of the movie, looking for somebody to talk to him. And at the end, he's saying it's in my head and I don't talk to anybody, which is the exact worst thing you can do.
Well, it's interesting that we talk about how things have changed. If you were arrested in the UK today and taken to the police station, one of the very first questions they ask you, other than how are you feeling now, they ask, have you ever served in the armed forces? And they ask every single person. And if you say yes to that, then there's a whole other load of questions, follow-up questions, probably thinking, well, you're a trained killer. We need to be a bit wary of you.
Yes.
They don't take them into the basement and use fire hoses on them. And I don't know why.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. No. Oh, by the way, I've been doing my job long enough to remember when they did used to use fingerprint ink and prints. And I've seen many people do exactly what he does in this, which is just keep wiping the ink off or smudging it across the page. He's happening all the time. It's all digital now and has been for a long time. But prior to that, I've seen loads of people do that.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. So, okay. So tell me this then. Are we sympathetic to Rambo's character by the time it ends? Do we feel sorry for him? Do we think, thank God he's in custody so he can't get anybody else? Or is it because I think you're supposed to feel sorry for him. Do we? And by we, I mean, do you?
Yeah, I did. I think, I mean, early viewings, especially first viewing, I think they're setting it up as you're sympathetic right away when he goes to Delmore Barry's. And then you're sympathetic. They build on that with how Teasel treats him. And you're like, what has he done? And especially if you're a kid in the 80s seeing this stuff, what does a kid say when he gets accused of, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Why? And they did something, right? It's like, what do you mean, what did you do? It's like, look at the house. It's destroyed. It's like, what did I do, Dad? What did I do?
Which one are we talking about, Deej? Just
First Blood, Travis.
Thrill Cat. Yeah,
Welcome to the party, pal.
That's a different film, Deej. That's a different film.
But
that's not confusing.
Yeah, exactly. One of the Rambos. Yeah, First Blood. That's funny. No, so yes, very sympathetic. I think, we got that, Travis. I understood you just got here. I would hope you just got here. Because if you've been here all along and it wasn't clear, I've got a whole line of questioning for you.
2 hours and 7 minutes of homework for you to do.
Oh, here we go. I don't remember it being a holiday classic. Oh, the town of Hope is all decorated for Christmas.
It is a Christmas movie.
After we're done, Travis, go back and you can listen to the beginning of the show and you'll hear how it's tied in. But it is a holiday classic. So anyways, I think for most of the movie he's a sympathetic character that you feel bad for him, but then I think they try to pull your emotions away from that just a little bit. And then again, when he busts through and comes to the town, you're like, all right, he's getting away. Nope. Now, remember the first time you saw it, when he busts through and gets away, you think he's getting away. And now it's like, I'm going to the town. I'm literally going to town. And he goes to town. So I'm trying to, there's very little time that you would not be sympathetic to him. Actually, to your point, how did you feel? Do you remember how you felt the first time they fired at the cave and they blew up the cave? Did you think he was dead? Were you like, oh my God, did you feel bad for him?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. And because they know he's got no bullets left. They know he's now essentially unarmed and they shoot him with a bazooka.
Yeah.
And so I think,
so yes, overkill.
Or underkill.
Yeah. Underhill.
So I did, but this is the thing, because what I think you are supposed to feel sympathy for him, and I do at the end, but how would that change? Again, this is such English lit. Sorry, it really is. How would that change then if they adopted the approach of the book i.e., everyone he comes into contact with that goes against him dies, including Teasel.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, they then go, well, yeah, we can't kill him, so we'll keep him alive at the end. Are you sympathetic then, or do you just think this man is a nutcase? I mean, he's a killing machine that needs to be sealed in glass, in a glass case. To quote Heartbreak Ridge, that says only break in the event of war.
Yeah.
So do we have no sympathy with him if he does kill everyone that goes against him? And so, therefore, is that the reason they keep everybody alive? And that's why you see Teasel at the end on his stretcher, thinking, actually, maybe I shouldn't have upset him at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting reelected for sheriff the way he handled this situation. No, I think that's what
the outpost.
Yeah. Speaking of that, little tangent here, when he's going through those cans at the outpost, you can hear the cans are empty.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he picks them up and you hear the ting, ting, ting. Like, and he handles a bunch of them and they're way too light to be flopping. Like if those were filled with gunpowder, they would have they would have been dead weight, not flopping around. Never mind. We can talk home theater about it later on, in tomorrow or today's show, whatever we're going to call it. But the sound of that is like, that's an empty can. But, no, I think it like what we were saying, like you can't do the ending to the book at the ending of this movie because it doesn't fit, and vice versa, because he has been a sympathetic character. And it's like, why would you do that to him? Whereas in the book, how do you let him live? Because you could actually say by killing him at the end, by Troutman killing him at the end, the way Morrell wrote that, now Rambo is a sympathetic character. He was used. He was used and abused and literally put down. That's what so that character is sympathetic. Thank God you weren't the person that came across him, because you'd be dead. But it's but the character itself is a sympathetic character because it's not necessarily he was born the way he was utilized by his country in a way that he shouldn't have been. And then he was cut loose because they held no responsibility for him. And then when he goes off and does what he was trained to do, as they actually say that in the movie too, they shoot him. Like, all right, we're done with you. So yes, but you can't mix the two up. You can't, you can't give the end. They have like, that would have been a great ending in the movie. No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't have made sense. It's like, why would you shoot him? He's actually not killing anybody. He's actually doing what he should do. He's using judgment, right? He's using good judgment and morals when that's all been trained out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, quite. I mean, there is a tragedy to the ending of the book. The book is a tragedy. So the idea is, again, guy trained to kill, abandoned on his return, left to fester, does what he was trained to do, and now he dies. And there's the tragedy of it. He is a victim of the machine, the process, the creation of this. Whereas I think, but I wonder whether that's the whole raison d'etre, the whole reason for him not killing in the book. In the film, is because then he can survive at the end, and you feel again that sympathy. He is still a victim of all that. Your empathy hasn't been taken by he kills indiscriminately, because he has the opportunity to do it. He says repeatedly, we are told he could kill them all. You're goddamn lucky he didn't kill you.
He goes, I'm surprised you and your men are alive.
Yeah, technically he slipped up.
Technically he slipped up. He should have killed every one of you. Should have. Yeah. And he's right. He's like, Troutman's right. That's what he was trained to do.
Yeah.
Adversary, eliminate it. Kill without question. That's what, and and even the way Richard Crenner says that, kill, just I can't even do it. It's just like I want to go back and see it. It's like, kill, the way he uses that K comes out of him. And it's just like, you're like, oh, it's like, it is defining. And it's like, that's what, he was trained to do. So him, like, if you see this version, right, this John Rambo, wouldn't have been picked by Troutman. He wouldn't have been chosen for this group. He wouldn't have been. Yeah. Look at it. He's got more. He's got no. You know, how did this happen? You know, and it's, yeah. So I think between the two, you can't mix them up. And that's why. But now here's where I listened to John Cena on Joe Rogan this weekend when I was working. And he said this line a bunch of times. He said, happy accident. Like a lot of times, like a lot of his success comes from a happy accident. Somebody told him to do something, he's like, whatever. And it blew up for him, right? Like, great idea. He didn't mean it, but this is what happens. This is what I think happened with the movie. I don't think when they set out to make this movie, they weren't thinking sequels. They weren't thinking like, we're going to take this character and we're going to do this with him. And that's why we're going to
make him a cultural icon.
Right. They weren't thinking that. Yeah. I think they took the book and made what they could make that would be okay for the general public to go to the movies and see. At that time, if they made that book, it's a horror movie. It is not a military. Yeah. That book is a horror movie. And movie making wise, they took that book and they did a nicer version of it, and then actually told a different story, which was still poignant to the
edge,
time.
Hasn't it? Yeah, it still has edge to it. Yeah,
Yep. And but as we were just saying, it's like, but it actually doesn't make sense because that person wouldn't have become this person in the first place. But still, as far as it gets the point across of how the vets were treated, it gets, how the military handled people, how the war was handled. It gets all of those points across with the movie, which were in the book as well. But there's a different level or a different take on the character of Rambo himself in each one. But I think because they handled it that way, it enabled the ending that they could have, because the ending of killing him, I think that's why they didn't put it in. They filmed it, but at that point you go, that doesn't even make sense. He didn't want this. He didn't want to kill anybody. Why are we killing him? So they take that out, put this ending in, which makes sense, which then leads to the happy accident. Here we go, 2, 3, 4. It's still today. And the icon that anybody goes off. What do you say? There he goes. Thinks he's Rambo.
John Rambo. Well, Stallone, of course, quoted it many times in the 80s. Look at Tango and Cash. F Rambo, he says.
Yeah.
Even him directly,
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, Schwarzenegger then looks at it and goes, I can do that. I'll call myself John Matrix, and let's have Commando, which is a whole different movie and a whole different tone, but such a good film.
Yeah, they've all become a different. This is actually a movie, and it's funny. Any way you look it up, it's called an action movie.
Yes,
and it's not. It's a drama. It's a drama with some action in it.
All right, so because we're just looking at the time, Deej, and I'm on call in half an hour, so I've got to be a bit hurry, and I've got 14 emails since we've been talking, so I'm just keeping an eye on those. So let me ask you. So, 2 of your favorite quotes from the movie, then. What are your 2 favorite? You can only have 2 because we'll be here all day otherwise, because I can quote the whole film. So 2 of your favorite ones. I know my ones. What would be your 2 favorite? Even if you're paraphrasing slightly. Yeah. Because it's an endlessly quotable film.
It's the body bags.
Okay. Yeah. So don't forget one thing. So because if you send that many, don't forget a good supply of body bags.
A good supply of body bags. That was like iconic. Like this is, and it was also, that's where it's like, I mean, obviously you just saw everything he was doing, but now it's like, it's being reinforced by his commander of like, this guy, he was nice to you. You don't make him angry, which you've already done. Right. Which is kind of a tease nowadays, because you're like, now he's going back to die. He's got to go off. No, he just shot up some buildings. Damn it. He's like, to your point, like Steve, like you want that horror movie.
Not in this film. I must admit, if someone said tomorrow, we're going to remake it and it'll be the version of the book, I'd give me this version. I like this complicated morals and this.
Yeah, but I think you could have that with the book. The book is just as complicated. It's just a different way. It's a different
Yeah, but
movie.
it becomes a grindhouse movie though. If you just kill everybody, it's a different movie. The complex. What have we been talking about for 2 hours and 20 minutes? An
Yeah.
action movie, really?
No.
You know,
Right.
and honestly, DJ would go for another 5 hours on this, no problem.
know.
It the complexity of the morals and the messaging and everything else is what makes this film so good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like the others. Don't get me wrong, 2, 3, 4, and 5 ish.
Yeah.
But I like
3
those.
was for me.
Well, it just gets worse with time as well.
Yeah.
But 1, you know, First Blood is a masterpiece, an absolute masterpiece. 2, 3, and 4, 5 are, like you say, this is a film. The others are movies, you know,
Right.
and I mean
movies.
that disparagingly slightly, but
Yeah.
that's what I mean. So give me this version any day of the week. I don't need to see a bloodbath version. You know, that's been done in billions of other movies and cheapens the complexity of this film. I think you want bloodbath, see Rambo 2. You know,
see, I don't think it cheapens it. I think it emphasizes it. Right? Because you can't, it's like you literally need both. Right? You need to have both. Now, you can have both if you have Schwarzenegger going off and making the antithesis to this, right? the action version of it. And
the one-liners.
The one-liners, and you make, you know, you do an action version of this. But here you have the actual character that it's a statement piece. It's not an action movie. It's a drama. It's something. It's a story of the human condition on all fronts, right? Diesel, Troutman, Rambo, Dave, the state police guy, right? Or even, you know, the guards, right? It's a story about all of that. It's a story about the human condition of each of these people. And a gun goes off, so we call it an action movie, right?
Yeah.
But now you take this actual character and put him in an action movie. I don't think it cheapens it. It actually raises the value of it. Because now you see what that was not an action movie. It was, you know what I mean? If you don't have the comparison, you know what I mean? Like, why is a Ferrari expensive? Does the Prius, a Toyota Prius, cheapen a Ferrari because it has 4 wheels, a steering wheel, and can drive? Or does it raise the value because you see, like, that's not a car, that's a car. If you don't have the comparison, you don't have a value.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. But I think, but like I said, the reason I like this one is because of that complexity to it. That again, you can compare it because you just see First Blood Part 2. Where he walks into a forest or a jungle with a gun and a bow and arrow and just kills everyone.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, no, I know. And it's cool, but it's not this. That's your McDonald's. You know, Rambo 2 is McDonald's, right? First Blood is your gourmet meal.
Yeah.
There are different flavors.
It's a film. It's an actual film. It's a story.
It's a throwback to the 70s.
Yeah.
It has
depth.
It's a remnant of the 70s, not the 80s. And again, you can compare it. Rambo First Blood Part 2 is the 80s. I mean, Ronald Reagan himself, the president himself, talked about we want to be like Rambo. We don't want to be like, you know, all this other stuff, which is concerning in and of itself, but there it is. All right, so that was quote 1. What was the other quote then, Deej? So we've got our body bags, or is it just the one? There's so many.
Can't find his legs.
Billy Goat Puke? Is that your other one?
Can't find his legs. Can't find his legs. Can't find his legs. I want to go home, Johnny. I want to go home. I can't find his legs. It's like, I mean, that sums up everything else. And it's like, you'd be like, you can't find his legs. It's like, if you haven't seen, or you have no knowledge of Vietnam, you have no knowledge of, like, just that story in itself.
Yeah,
like, this is what was happening.
Yeah.
They were battling a war on all fronts. Like, you're in a bar. Wait, what? People blew you up in a bar? Listen to that story, right? And that's like, you think you're safe over there. So it's like, that's another part of the story to me has always been like, I remember hearing that the first time. I was afraid to ask my dad about that. Like, I do not want to bring that up. There's no way he's going to lighten that story and brightside it. Oh yeah, we used to go into bars all the time and laugh. Like, don't get your shoe shine. No, that would be my dad making a joke of it, but he never did, never would ask him. But that's that story. I can't find his legs. I want to help my friend. I want to go cruising with him. Can't find his legs. And it's like that to me is like the other one. Yeah. Well, let me comment on yours though. But what are yours? Yeah. Do you have 1, 2, 3?
I've got 2. I've got about 100. But
exactly.
The one that always the one that springs to mind, other than the Billy Goat one, but I won't choose that because that just makes me laugh. Yeah. That's a humorous line in a serious situation. But the one again that'll look really good on his inscription at Arlington. Yeah. Here lies John Rambo, winner of the Congressional Medal of Honor, survivor of countless incursions behind enemy lines, killed for vagrancy in Jerkwater, USA. I love that phrase.
It was awesome.
That is such a good line. I love that line. And again, sums it up quite nicely in terms of the themes of this movie to a certain extent. And again, if we talk about attitude towards the military, that quite nicely talks about that. And then I do like the "Why are you pushing me?" I do like that. Why are you pushing me? I haven't done anything to you. Why are you pushing me? I just like that too. In a movie full of good lines, I like that too. And of course, that became misquoted from then on. Don't push me. He's actually misquoted, but that's became.
Well, it's the title too. Line. It's First Blood, right? That's the iconic line. He drew First Blood. I didn't start this. Why are you pushing me? Is that's the title to the movie. It's he drew First Blood, not me.
Also,
So that's that in itself is like that's where the title comes from. That's what happened here. That's why are you doing this? And really is you. I know you're on call soon, but here, like you said, we could talk another 5 hours.
Oh man,
does that line go to the actual Vietnam War? Nobody asked them to be there. We showed up. We drew First Blood. We went, hey, let me see what I can do here. It's like,
yes,
how'd that work out for you? Pretty much the same way it worked out for Teasel.
Yeah, well, yes, indeed. Certainly got a bloody nose, if nothing else. Although, historians are revising it. Surprise, surprise. But there we go. Is it an anti-war movie?
Well, no, because it's just, I don't think it's an anti-war movie as much as it is, like how to handle it. I don't want to say I was at a loss for not a loss for words. I had too many words. It was like how to handle people, how to handle it, but it's literally how to handle it, how to handle war. There's reasons for war. There's good reasons, there's bad reasons, but there's a reason to do it. You want to defend yourself, of course. I think it's just, and in the case of Vietnam, we weren't defending ourselves. We were manifesting something to get there, to do something, which if you watch like Air America or any of these other movies, you find like, what was going on here? They weren't like, there wasn't, we made up a threat, right? To what Teasel did. He made up a threat here. There was no threat. Nobody threatened Teasel. Nobody did anything. He made up a threat to cause an issue. And this is what happened. His friend dies. The town gets blown to crap. Because you made up a threat in Jerkwater, USA. Like,
I just love that phrase.
Yeah.
Exactly. And again, this is the beauty of this film, the complexity of it. Again, a simple question: is it anti-war? And actually, there's a whole discussion to be had there. Whereas I don't think there's any doubt that Rambo 2 and 3. 4 tries to row it back a little bit. 5 is a different animal. 5 is just a different thing. But I don't think there's any doubt 2 and 3 are glorifying this. They're going look at how mighty we are. Look at our strength. Look at what we can do. And I do not mean that I'll say that ambivalently, because again, you get into geopolitics and jingoistic nature. But I think 2 and 3 very clearly have an opinion on war. I think this one is really complex, and again, all the better because of it. It's so good. I absolutely unapologetically love this film.
Yeah,
and I think sorry, go on, Dish.
I was going to say this has more to do. Like I said, it's more about the the human condition, then it's not, it's really nothing to do with the war. It's what happened afterwards. And to your point, it's the later ones that they actually mentioned the war. Like, you know, do we get to win this time? Oh, it's up to you. Right now, it's up to you. So it's like, that's the part where there's none of that in First Blood. No. None of it. It's literally, it's like, this is where this guy just came from. They're not mentioning, they're not talking about the politics of the war. They're not talking about anything. All they're talking about is the people, effect, the people of, right. So like the most they mention is like, I come home and these people that don't even know me are saying all this vile crap, right? They don't even know me. They're like I had a choice. That's the closest you get to it. But the movie itself is about the individual, like the characters, the psyche of each of them. It's not really, it's not about the war. It's about the effect that this stuff has. And there's a cause and effect of everything like that. So I don't think it's anti-war. I don't think it's pro-war or anti-war or anything. I think it's not even about that.
No. Oh, it's so good. But I do think it's a throwback. I think it's a remnant of the 70s and the 80s in terms of movie making and the movie. It's the complexity of your 70s films that just happened to hit in the 80s. But yeah, it's so good. It's so, honestly, like we could. This is a movie that is endlessly talk-aboutable.
Talk-aboutable. There we go.
Talk-aboutable. There you go. That'll be today's phrase.
We in Australia, walk-aboutable. Talk-aboutable.
Walk-aboutable. Talk-aboutable, mate.
Speaking of that, we never got to the knife one.
Yeah. Let's do that one then. Yeah. Sorry, I starred that like about 2 hours ago. There it is.
So 2 hours ago, blind guy says, "How many Rambo survival knives did you have?" The one with the compass on the end that unscrewed and you could put stuff inside the handle. Yeah. So yes, I had that one. I pretty much had all of them. I had to have, I mean, especially, so you have the first one. My favorite was the second one with the knife itself was black, iodized, black, but the edges were silver. And then you had the knife, you had the, you had to, I used to go to like trade shows and stuff like that and look for, like, you'd open it up. I had the whole kit. I had a fishing kit. I had a saw, the little saw. I had the compass. I had a first aid kit, all in the handle. And it was like the survival knives. Ask anybody now. I'm working. I carry this. My son's the same way. It all comes from this stuff. It comes from the survival idea. You go right now, somebody cuts themselves. I can go to my truck. I got a first aid kit. I can do this. I don't sew people up anymore. I glue them because we have technology, but I've done all that. Have you ever done this, Steve? I've sewn myself. I've given myself stitches. No, because of this movie. I've done that. I've done all of this stuff. It's like, I cut my leg, sewed it up. Why? Because I wanted to do it. Because I'm like, I taking the trash out when I was a kid. There was something in the bag, cut the side of my leg. I got to cut about, I don't know, 1.5 inches long. I'm like, let me sew that up. So I did. And when I did it, I didn't even know how to do stitches. Now I know. And I'm like, oh, that's how you do it? I sewed it like you would sew. I didn't do one stitch and tie it up. I just kept going.
I thought you were going to say you got a sewing machine, and just ran it down your leg.
No. I couldn't get my leg in it. I've done that. I've done all of that. And I'll tell you, it bleeds just like his arm did. Blood gushes out.
Rub dirt on it and get back in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was like, I still even remember, I remember cutting my leg and going, I'm going to sew that up.
Now's my chance. Thanks, John Rambo.
Excited. But yeah, had the knives. Did you?
Well, no, do you know what? Every time I see these, and I mean, I think, ooh, do you know what? I'd like one of those, because I've got a fairly decent weapon collection. I've got the sword from Blade and the Headless Horseman's sword, and I've got both samurai swords from Kill Bill. All this kind of stuff. Although you've got to be careful with it in the UK these days, because now you can, even owning a sword of that's bent of over 50 centimeters in a private place is an offense. They've changed the rules recently. And so you can't buy these knives online anymore. You couldn't do that anymore now. You just won't do it. But every time I see them, I think, oh, it would be quite cool to have one, because they are from those movies. They are as much of a character from the very first one as any of them. But no, I never have. I would have liked the Rambo 2 one. The Rambo 4, where he just carves this bit of metal and it's like that big. It's more of a machete than a knife. Would have been quite cool as well.
Yeah.
And you could get some that had been autographed by Stallone. And I looked at those a while back, and I was going to, and I went through a phase of buying these. He's like, obviously, I've got lightsabers, all this as well. But I never did. And now you can't. You could not buy them either online or over the counter legitimately here. And if you get caught with one of those, well, put it this way, you got caught in the street with a Rambo knife, as in like that, then the starting point's a prison sentence just for having it on you. You threaten someone with it, you're looking at 3 to 4 years.
So
it's just a different world here.
Now, to that point, did I have that knife? Did it have influence on me? I have
got one on you now.
Steve.
Oh, okay, nice.
I have a Leatherman. Nice. I carry with me, like on my person for work, for everything. I use it for work. I do it, but I have it all the time. My Leatherman. Look at the blade, black. Why did I choose that one? Black blade, silver on the edges.
Nice.
Always.
Is that blade longer than 3 inches?
No, probably 2 inches.
Okay, so you'd be okay with that in the UK. But if the blade is longer than 3 inches and it's got a locking mechanism, it's an offensive weapon per se. Just having it on you is a serious offense. So this is why you don't get that. But they used to be able to buy them online, but that's all gone now. You'd have to get them at a trade show here, and them selling them would be an offense. So they'd be very silly. Yeah. But they are cool, and they are characters, and they are, kind of, typical blokes. We're just such men, aren't we, DJ? Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
And big boys in men. Yeah.
We're cleansing ourselves from our, what was the movie? You're still listening to the music. The kids movie. The Netflix one that we did.
Stranger Things?
No. The Netflix kids animated movie, the girl dancing.
Oh, the Demon Hunters, K-pop
Demon Hunters. There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Dancing K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, K-pop. Yeah, we're cleansing ourselves from we're cleansing our manliness.
yes.
We're retaining our manliness from our K-pop episode.
We're reclaiming it.
Reclaiming our manliness. That's pretty funny.
In my top 10. It's going to be in my top 10.
Yep.
Sorry, Scruffy just says, what did you think of the TV show Sleepy Hollow? Scruffy, I haven't seen it. I just love the movie. The movie's great. And we reviewed it on the show. In fact, DJ, you've done it. I've done it as well. We did it a couple of years back. And but I've had the sword for a long time. That I've had for probably about 10, 12 years. It's massive and it weighs a ton. It's one of these master replicas things. So it's a broadsword. Yeah. And it actually takes some heft to lift this thing. It's great. And it's got the cobra head on it. So it's very, very cool. One of my favorite pieces I've got next to the blade sword, obviously. But also, I used to put up pictures of this stuff every now and then. I'd put them up on Twitter, but I've stopped doing that because there's so many police officers that follow me on Twitter. That it's you've always got to be a little bit careful because you upset one. Yeah. And they could theoretically come around and go, right, we're coming in, and we're going to measure all this and we're going to check all that. And if it's illegal, you're in a lot of trouble. So
that's tough.
Yeah.
So maybe not be talking about it right now.
Oh no, you're okay. I know the law.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's not a curved blade. The blade sword is straight, and so is the Sleepy Hollow one. So in and of themselves, they're not against. It's the curved samurai swords.
Oh, okay.
Which are over 50 centimeters, or what they call zombie knives. So Rambo knives would come into that. These zombie knives, these
right,
very ornate and just lethal implements. Yeah. The problem was there were young kids walking the street with them. I dealt with a 10-year-old who had a knife on him. I kid you not, Deej. The knife was longer than he was. And he had it down his trousers and he could barely walk. He was sort of walking with a limp.
I was going to say, not his whole body. It wasn't longer than him.
Longer than his leg.
Oh, wow.
So he was sort of literally limping like that, which is how the police knew he had it on him.
Yeah, he tried to run.
Didn't get very far. And
no.
So he needed some stitches in his leg.
Yeah.
But there we go. So yeah, Deej, honestly, this time has flown by as always, and I could just go
I know.
on and on about First Blood.
I know. We could, I mean, we did pretty good at sticking to, we had a few tangents here and there, but this topic, we could go on. We could do it again next year and be like, not even touch the same stuff.
Yeah. So where were we? Right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
yeah, good. Well, those I've got to say, thank you to the people in the chat. Way more
crazy
than I thought we were going to get. I thought we'd get 1 or 2, and that would be it, if anybody. So bear in mind, we didn't publicize it.
No.
We just did it on a whim. Very, very cool.
Yeah, we ended up
everyone's
with
chilled in.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. 54 in the chat. We have your ex, you have 31, I have 16, and there's 7 on YouTube. So we see for a surprise visit. That's crazy. And a great chat too.
Great fun. All kinds of fun.
But let's wrap it up with it. This is a true, I mean, believe it or not, I know everybody listening or everything, everybody listening, it's like, okay, it's me and Steve talking. We do that every week. Steve's the show, part of the show. He's the show. We're the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Takeover Tuesday was the listeners come in. Well, Steve started as a listener, and he was a Takeover Tuesday. And he literally took, and now 3 times. You literally took over this Tuesday. You suggested it last week. I'm going to, hey, for Takeover Tuesday, you want to talk about that? You literally took over this Tuesday. It's awesome. It's like, that's, even the idea to go live. It's Takeover Tuesday. There you go. So,
but there are just some movies that absolutely demand it, and this is one of them. But there's many more.
Oh yeah, there's a couple other movies out there, right? We'll find them. I don't know where.
Yeah,
we'll find
present themselves.
Yeah. All right, we'll get Steve to his calls. How many emails he got now?
17 now, plus
3 more came in.
3 calls from people. So I don't know who that is. I'll find out who that is.
There you go. You get to. I got work to do. You got work to do. We will be back. This is for show, everybody. Don't panic in the chat. We will be back later this afternoon with First Blood, home theater wise, and a few other movies. Can't wait to talk that one.
Oh yeah, actually, interesting things to say about the audio mix on that as well.
Oh really?
It's different to the stream. It's different balance to the mix. Yeah.
Good.
Noticeably different. Still good.
Okay.
But noticeably different.
Can't wait to hear.
It's been equalized.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, we could talk more about that tomorrow or later tomorrow. Later tomorrow.
This afternoon. 4 p.m. Eastern time, and wherever you are, live
9
show.
p.m. Yeah, our time. Some other time, some other place.
Yeah. Home. Yeah. HT 509. So, all right. That's it. We are out of here. Thanks everybody in the chat. That was awesome. Thanks to Steve. What a great Takeover Tuesday.
My pleasure, man.
Yeah. Until next time, you know what you got to do.
Go push play. What he said.
That's right.
Hey, Fred.
This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.